Speaking of good-looking crews, which no one will understand because Ben just said that off screen. Good evening and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It's your good-looking crew here tonight. One less hirsute than usual, but we'll cover that in a bit. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hopefully, yeah, we'll cover it quite literally. Welcome to our 100th episode of the Boys of the Baltic Star Traveller. It's what we started with. It's our first love. As much as we love John, there is in chat. As much as we love John with Tony and Rudy. As much as we love Socks, Orbital Blues, Gilly with Dark Places, Spares with Fortitude, and all our friends that join us for things. This does remain our one true love, and hitting 100 is special to us. So thank you very much. If any of you want to celebrate,
fantastic, isn't it?
If any of you want to celebrate at any point, I've put a reward up. It's our 100th Traveller episode, and you can say what your favourite moment or NPC over the last century is. I will start. Who's my favourite? My favourite is my favourite is Tim. So I've got involved. I've just started things going. So
any particular Tim?
In my mind, they're all the same Tim. He's like.
Of course.
What's the character in Peppa Pig? Mrs. Rabbit that does all the jobs in town.
Yeah.
Tim is the Mrs. Rabbit of the Traveller. So.
I was thinking more like there's a facility somewhere cloning all of these Tims from the original Tim.
Oh yes, could be.
It's like the I can't even remember what it is now. Just move on.
Moving on. So we are travelling tonight. It is our beloved Traveller game, Mongoose Traveller. We play. Traveller is a very old role-playing game, and it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It does everything you could ever want in a game. Want to play a bit of fantasy? Fine. Want to play cyberpunk? Fine. Hard sci-fi? Fine. Space opera? Fine. Play a game. Have your crew playing a D&D game on their ship in the middle of a jump in Traveller? Absolutely fine. That's what you can do, and that's why we love it so much. And we have a wonderful referee who has played this game for a very, very long time. And we'll talk about him later before his head gets too big. But first things first, welcome tonight. If it's your first time, you're very, very welcome. If you are John and you've been here many times, you are very, very welcome, John, and we love having you here. Any other regulars or semi-regulars, you are welcome too. Chat if you want. If people start to chat, we generally have a friendly chat. And the three of us, if any of us are not busy at that time, if me and Ewan are going into an hour's worth of just discussion about cheesy balls to save himself getting bored, Ben will join the chat. If me or Ewan are busy, the other one will chat. So get involved or talk with us, ignore us, whatever you want. We love our lurkers. 2, there is a red sun there. You can click on spend some Imperial credits. The more expensive, the more effect they'll have on the game generally. You can give us a boon. You can name an NPC. They become canon, so you can affect canon. There's some musicy bits you can do. Clonk means that one of us has to hit someone as soon as possible, or something. That's a very important thing we must do. If the sight of Ben without a beard upsets you, you can click a beard for Ben, and we'll give him a beard until his actual one grows back. It's always a shock when I load up the thing. Not that it's a terrifying sight, but I just don't expect it. So there's a lot of things you can click in there. There's one thing we keep as 1 credit and 1 credit only, always will be, and that is I'll drink to that. If we do something or say something, or something is done that you agree with, it's a raise the glass moment, please feel free. For 1 single credit, I'll drink to that, and we will raise our glass in one way. As it is our 100th, Ben, I know you've got a special drink this evening for your 100th.
I have. I've got myself a bottle of fizzy for tonight, and it is in an unreasonably large wine glass, which which is a recent gift from our glorious Socks, who sent me this, and it felt appropriate to open something bubbly for this evening.
Oh, wonderful. I'm not a white wine drinker myself, gives me migraines, but I dug along around my bottles and I found a bottle of red dedicated to Mount Ventoux, which is a cyclist, of course, holds a special place in my heart as a pro cycling fan. Ewan, you just gone for a bit of scrumpy as always?
No, actually, I've cracked open a Rioja tonight. I was going to get a little post-it note and just write red wine across it for old time's sake. But...
Yes.
But it's not in a plastic bottle, though, so it wouldn't truly be for old time's sake.
Next time.
Next time,
200th.
exactly. For the 200th, yeah, we'll all have a bit of red wine in a plastic bottle again. Dear viewers, I hope you relax and enjoy yourselves, whether you are drinking hard drinks or soft drinks or nothing at all. But remember to hydrate. Don't go too long without liquid. It's not good for you. Our snowball fight's very good call. So, who are we anyway? My name is Luke Keller. I'm in the bottom right-hand corner. Here I am. I play two characters in this game. I play Kara and I play Soraya. Kara is an artist, a carouser, a trader, a hacker, and appears to be quite good with a stun fist and a stun gun. She is good with her fists, believe it or not. I also play Soraya, who is the jack of all trades. She can do a bit of everything. She's our engineer. She does love drinking mimosas, and you have to talk her down from using grenades at every possible opportunity. One of the ones talking her down, mainly because he wants to stab someone in the throat instead, is the man right above me. He is my brother from another mother. He is the Floofmaster General, the housewife's favourites, the Pona of noobs. He is the magical Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hey, Luke. I'm very good, thanks. I'm excited to see what our 100th episode brings.
Oh, nothing bad, I bet.
No, I've been trying to catch Ben's camera to see if he's got that glint in his eye that means we're doomed.
What monster would do that on a celebration episode? Eh?
What monster indeed?
It's when you say things like that, Ben.
So who'd you play anyway,
yes,
Ewan?
Indeed.
Who'd you play in this game?
A very good question, Luke. A very good question. I too play two characters in our game. I play Stefan Miller, the aforementioned person who, on occasion, has been known to stab somebody violently in the neck in the nightclub. They were evil. I mean, they are evil. They're not a nice person. We don't like them. But he's a sneaky space rogue. Sometimes backflipping, sometimes not backflipping. Sometimes he lands on his face. Who is currently trapped hiding out on the Baltic Star. He's not trapped. He's hiding out. And I also play Agnar Arnson, who is a Varga former military general with pretty good military tactics and some good medic skills, which are really helpful for when your other PC has stabbed someone in the neck and you regret all of your decisions instantly and want to heal them.
They are the yin and yang of Ewan's consciousness, I think we could say.
I'm nothing if not polar.
At least.
Well, there is one man that manages to hold us all together, that keeps us from totally falling apart. He controls the entire... He's got the whole universe in his hands, except for those four characters. He can do it though, can't he? He can hold it together because he is the smartest man in any room. He lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence, and he spends his evenings surrounded by topless, heavily oiled men holding up the curtain behind him stoically. You can't even see it shimmer. He's in the middle of a large room, but it looks cozy just because of the strength of those men. He is the marvellous, the magnificent Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm very well. When you were saying that, I was reminded of that photograph Michael Collins, the astronaut, took during an EVA of one of the NASA missions, where he was outside the ship and he took a shot of the ship silhouetted with the entire Earth behind it. And when NASA printed it, they said, "This is an interesting photograph. It contains every single living human apart from Michael Collins." And you're right. This universe, there are only four people I'm not in control of.
But what a four!
It's a foursome, isn't it?
And one of them could take a photo, I think.
One of them definitely can.
She's pretty good at it.
Oh, so we're looking forward to the 100th?
I think I am. You know what? I
You've never
really
asked
think
that before, Ben.
I'm a bit worried
Why are you
now.
asking that?
To be fair, if I'd asked it last week, it would have been an odd thing to ask, don't you think?
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah. We'll allow it for this week, but that doesn't mean we're any less suspicious of you.
Oh, well, suspicion is good. Suspicion keeps you alive.
Oh no.
I mean, not this week, obviously, but mostly suspicion keeps you alive.
Every other week it has, yeah.
Yes. So, are we ready to get started?
Sure, why not? Let's do it.
All right.
I'll warm it nice up.
Picture a world covered almost entirely with ocean. Around its equator are a narrow belt of islands, often with hundreds of kilometers between them. One of these islands, larger than any other, contains the city of Selville, capital of the whole world of Giikur. Selville is built on a series of mountain peaks, 7 of them, each levelled off far above the ocean. This is because Giikur has a higher density atmosphere than most people are comfortable with, so living at altitude avoids the need for breath masks and other impediments to comfort. Most of the year, the life of the planet rests almost entirely in the city. But once a year, the oceans become the focus of every eye. This is the famous Pelago race, a fast and dangerous circumnavigation of the entire planet by boat, or more accurately, racing craft that are required to keep in contact with the water at all times, but essentially fly at almost supersonic speed. Why are our heroes interested in this race? Because on their way back to Giikur, they learnt of an island far to the west of Selville called Herrenhal. Herrenhal is a place that the Imperial Navy has embargoed. Nobody is permitted within 100 kilometres of it, except, Pelago racers. To residents of the planet, this is a subject of conspiracy theories and rumours, but to our heroes, the critical question is whether perennial enemy Anton Fess has a special interest in visiting the location. So, a lot has happened. Stefan stabbed Anton Fess, went on the run from the law, and is now holed up in the Baltic Star, hoping that Giikur is a bit lax in the customs inspection business. Soraya went on the run as well after being accused of being an accessory. Eventually, she turned herself in, was released, made contact with a journalist who might help them get off the planet once everything goes loud. Agnar spent most of his time in the company of Olivia Sharp. Oh, yes, but before that, he did save the life of an unfortunate stabbing victim who. Oh. Anyway,
Please, you hear the
since
crack.
then, he's been enjoying the high life, literally, aboard a luxurious dirigible following the race. Now, Fess, it seems, was just as bothered that the Baltic crew might want to visit Herrenhal, so he abducted their crewmate Rose, promising to release her if they stayed away. Ryan made an attempt to rescue Rose, but it turned out to be a trap. Kara took 3 of the other members of the crew and signed on to be part of the ISB race team for the race, only briefly distracted by some nearly fatal espionage efforts. The 4 of them selflessly volunteered to abandon boat to lighten the load after their shifts were over. By astonishing coincidence, they left as the craft passed Herrenhal. Our 4 soggy crew swam ashore and began climbing inland. Abandoning the dirigible in the company of roguish mercenary Dural Cags, the remainder of the crew jumped on a shuttle and flew towards Herrenhal, but warned off by the Imperial Navy, they're in a holding pattern outside the exclusion zone. Meanwhile, on Herrenhal, Kara and Kat saw their experts find out something about the place that's rather unexpected. It seems the entire island is artificial and ancient. They stumbled across a pair of mercenaries loitering by a passage into the heart of the island. They managed to kill them, by surprise, and they peered into the tunnel. Far down that passage, there appear to be some work lights set up, as if people are doing something inside. And that is where we resume the story. So, I think we really do need to start with Kara.
Oh. Kara will walk over to the edge and look down at the now dead body of the other guard that's sort of fell to his death below. She'll look back at Kat. So yeah, I'm seeing a new side to you today, Kat. I think I quite like it.
Okay.
It's,
I'm having this reaction where my heart seems to be beating very, really fast. Is that normal?
oh yeah, my heart. Feel it. She sort of grabs Kat's hand and sort of tries to find her own heartbeat in there, which is indeed thudding through her chest. You see, it's totally normal. That feeling that it's going to burst out and scamper off on its own, little mini legs, is what you should be feeling right now. The second you don't feel that is when you'll make a mistake.
Okay. Then in that case, I guess everything's great.
If ours is beaten and theirs isn't, then we're doing well.
That's kind of how you keep score.
Oh yeah, you've scored 2 already. You're doing well. You're the finisher today. I'm setting them
Okay.
up and you're knocking them out.
Yeah. Um, it's a bit new to me.
Yeah, and I hope it doesn't become a habit. I'm hoping that once we're off this mysterious island, I'm hoping that it's something you don't have to worry about for a very long time. The dreams will
Well,
pass. The dreams will pass. I promise you.
okay. Okay. That sounds better. Yeah. But I'm not going to calm down just yet because there's possibly more to come.
Oh, there's definitely more to come. The thing is, we've got that big hairy guy with his big shotgun, and we've got that well smart Zidani agent who's a deadeye. We've got that ex scout who survived on her wits in the dirtiest parts of the universe for over a decade. You know those guys, really, really good people you want in a pinch in combat situation.
Yeah.
Uh, they can't really come and help us out at the minute.
So if it comes to, really dangerous fighty stuff, it's you and me.
Well, if it comes to really dangerous fighty stuff, you and I are going to make a decision, okay, Kat?
Okay.
If it gets to a point where we really think we don't have a chance, I'm going to put in a call, and that beefy, strong, furry guy with a shotgun, and that Zidani agent with a big rifle, and that scout with a penchant for cheesy balls and the ability to fight a way out of a corner. They'll come. They'll come and join us, and they'll help us out, which is great, right?
Okay.
But with them, they'll bring the Imperial Navy, probably about 5 minutes behind, and the Navy don't want us here.
Sure, but they also don't like shoot on sight, right?
Uh, Depends how important they see keeping this island a secret, I guess. And if they don't, I met this woman that they were going to lock up in jail for a very long time without trial. I managed to get her off in the end because we got friends. But all I'm saying is we got one shot at this. How's the heart going, by the way?
It's actually doing fine, I think.
Good, 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 good. How are the hands? Hold the hands up. How are they looking?
Um, they're great.
Yeah, they're perfect. Look at that. If I was Grey Hill, I'd serve you a drink. But sadly, it's just me and you, and you and I are going to sneak in down this tunnel. We're going to have a nose around, and we're going to try and make sure things are secure for our specialists. Okay? Because
All right.
you and I both know that although Sammy can kind of handle herself, Freya can't, right? And we've got to keep an eye on Freya. We've got to look after her.
All right. Can we also keep an eye on me and look after me?
Don't with that. It goes without saying. Goes without saying. You're on my list. All right.
Okay. Good.
Fantastic. Now, if you bear with me, I'm just going to call the other two. We'll get them up here so they can sort of have a nose around, and then you and I will head in and see what's there. Okay.
Mhm.
And remember, the moment you think it's too much, call me. We'll get Agnar and that lot in. But then our time's limited, and we could be limited on rows. We could be limited on anything we can do. All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
All right.
Kara calls into a device for Sammy.
It doesn't take very long. Sammy picks up almost immediately. Hello.
Yo, Samster, how's it going?
Great. This is fascinating, you know. I mean,
What?
that I've never seen anything like this material. I mean, I wish I had a lot of equipment and a lot of time.
Is there any way? Is there anything loose? Can you dislodge any small samples or anything?
I've been trying. I'm not sure it's dislodgeable by anything.
Are you getting lots of photos though and things like that? Whatever you can
Yep,
do.
yep. I've got some pictures. I've taken some soil samples in case something happened to leak out of it. You never know. Um, I've done some sort of spectral imaging to see if we can get any interesting information off reflections and things like that. But it's just this black, subtly shiny, very very hard material.
It's strange, isn't it? And I don't want to start trying to shoot anything into it because that's only going to bring attention to us. We appear to have found Kat and I have found the entrance to this long tunnel, and it looks like there's some sort of works going on inside. So it's possible that people have been trying to get at it, try some things out with it. You know, carve into it, get some samples, do something.
Mm-hmm.
So Kat and I were going to go in and scope it out, make sure everything's safe, and then if it is, are you and Freya okay to come and have a look around?
Sure. Do we come to you now before you head in, or you want us to stay here?
I'd come up to where we are, but you don't need to come in the tunnel. Find yourself a sort of get your head down up the top so you're nearby when we need you. It's
All
okay.
right.
There's no baddies here. We've already killed. Well, Kat's already killed 2 goons.
Cat's killed 2 people.
Yeah. She's catching you up. Although to
She's
be fair, yours were normally the goo monsters.
yeah, yeah. Generally, okay. It's fine. I mean, I'm sure she's coping.
You're not jealous, are you,
She's
Sam?
no, just concerned that she's very young for that kind of thing. Anyway,
It's
we'll
it's the best of a bad situation. She's
we'll pick our way around at this level, and when we get to where we can see you, we'll come up.
cool. Cheers, Sam Stone.
Um, can you please roll a survival check for me, please?
Of course I can.
I'm going to do the same for Cat.
What do I add to survival? It's intelligence and something, isn't it?
Yeah,
Intellect
it'll
and
be intelligence in this
yeah.
case.
Then it's a 6 plus 2. It's an 8.
Okay. Moments after you stop your communication, you turn to Cat to sort of update her or see if she's waiting to say something to you. And you hear a couple of voices from inside the tunnel. They seem to be chatting quite relaxed. And though you can hear them fairly clearly because of the nature of the tunnel being, where they are and you're at the end of it, the echoey nature of it makes it just a little bit hard to make out what they said. With an 8, I can't give you their actual words.
That's fine, but we can tell there's people chatting down there.
Yeah.
Does Kat seem to have heard them as well?
Apparently not.
Before I say anything to Kat, Kara's gonna after hanging up and doing the thing, she's gonna make sure Kat can't see her device, and she's gonna message Sammy, and she's gonna say in a message, she's gonna say, to be honest, I think Kat's gonna struggle with this for a while after. When we get back on the Baltic Star, we need to really gather around her, okay? and sort of send it off to Sammy. Sammy's a bit of an older hand than she's sort of
Yeah,
she's been through it all. She's sort of
and you get an okay back, and then it's probably less than a minute later you can hear quite softly a bit of rustling of tree and what have you as Sammy and Freya climb the steps up to the sort of platform that leads into that tunnel entrance.
yeah. Carl sort of give him a wave, and then to do that thing to Phillips, shh, and she'll point into the tunnel, and she'll do sort of talking to, and then she'll go you two, that head down.
Sammy takes a firm hold of Freya and sort of steers her off to the side so they're out of the direct line of the tunnel. And they find themselves a relatively comfortable place sitting behind a tree just off the side of this platform.
Okay. Cara turns to Sammy and sorry to Cat and whispers, "Two voices in the tunnel."
Okay.
How dark is it as we look in there? Like, I guess if we go in, we'll be our
The
silhouettes
tunnel
will be
itself,
framed, right?
it is completely unlit. So what light there is coming in from the light scattering off the water and around the outside here, and the work lights at the far end. So effectively, at the tunnel entrance, it's reasonably okay. As soon as you're more than 20 or 30 feet inside, it gets really quite gloomy, but the lights at the end, you can actually see them sort of reflecting off the walls of the tunnel.
Cara's going to reach into her pockets and hand a starlight drop to Cat.
Okay.
She'll say, "Are you afraid of the dark, Cat?"
They call me Cat. What do you think?
Well, this pill will brighten even the darkest alleyway. And she'll hand it over to her.
Okay.
And then she'll sort of carefully scurry over to Sammy and Freya with two. So, Sammy, these are two starlight drops, okay? As and when we call you in, it's dark in there. So if you take them now, say they last for ages, don't they? If you take them now, when you come in, you should be able to see okay. Are you all right, Freya?
All good.
Fantastic. There's some really cool stuff in there. It's just me and Kat are going to check it out first, okay? To make sure everything's cool for you guys.
All right. Okay.
And Cara will take a starlight drop as well, just in
Okay.
case you catch me on that.
So everybody has taken some starlight drops. It will take 4 doses, which I think are 2 drops, one per eye, aren't they? So 2 drops each. But I think I think your amount is actually measured in doses on the assumption that people will be using for both eyes.
Yes. So yes, I will rub off 4.
So if you can write down or scrub off 4 of your starlight drop doses.
Yeah. I bought too many that time, if you remember. I've still got 24.
Yeah. Well, I think they sold them in packs of 20
Yeah,
or something.
massive
and
packs.
You said, "Oh, I'll have 2 packs then."
2 packs, that'll be fine. I'll use them all the time. I'll sneak around at night just to terrorise Agnar. He's got bad eyes in the dark anyway.
Yes.
Mark another 10 off for having done that in the past.
For insubordination. Are we retconning my
said
starlight drops?
So, outside, they don't really provide any particular additional illumination, of course. They provide a very slight sort of halo around bright objects where the drops aren't really all that helpful. You sort of end up blinking a bit more and your eyes water just a little bit more than you're used to. But when you peer down the tunnel, you can actually see that they are going to have an effect.
Wonderful. Good, aren't they, Kat? They're good.
Excellent.
Right. We need to get in.
I know pilots are used to rely on them.
They're very, very helpful. they've helped me out in the past. That we need to get in, but we need to get straight against the wall because we don't want to be framed in the entrance. Okay, and we're going to head down quietly, and we're going to see what we come across.
Okay. So we stay close to the wall. We move slowly.
Yep.
And we freeze if we see any movement, I guess.
Sure. We've got to assume that. Well, our best chance is that they won't see us easily in the dark. So yeah.
All right.
Just no freezing like this. I won't allow it.
Of course not. We freeze in our Charlie's Angels pose, right?
Yeah. We have standards on the Baltic stuff. Oh.
Okay. So, if you are going to do this, Kat is going to look at the layout, and she's going to peer inside. Now, let's see what she can see, actually, before you set off down.
Fantastic.
Well, that's a bit better. With the starlight drops in her eyes, she's able to see the gloom pretty well. There are those work lights at the far end, but they seem to be sort of in a rough circle and illuminating a space down there. You can't see any movement or any sign of anyone in the tunnel. But she reports in, she says, there's an identical tunnel the other side.
So there's 2 ways in. Okay. Well, our first step is to get to the middle, I guess, and keep an eye out for these 2 voices. We've got to assume they can be anywhere in here. They could be nearby, they could be in the other tunnel, but I heard something. We've got to be careful. Let's get in. Let's see what there is. Let's clear the space, then we can get our 2 geologists in to have a look around.
All right. You start to creep down the tunnel.
Yes, please.
Are you picking left or right?
Oh, God. Hang on. I'll roll. Left.
Okay. Then Kat's going to choose right. She pulls out her laser pistol and slightly trembling hand, but she sets her jaw and she's walking basically in parallel with you at the same pace. Now, I need you to make a stealth check, please, with Dex.
Oh, God. Flat
It's
0
okay,
for
both
me.
stealthy characters are there.
Well, I've got my double zeros at least. At least she's got a 0 for stealth. I tried to cover.
Yeah.
I've always tried to cover certain stats.
Yes, Kat's got a 0 in stealth as well, and her Dex is good. She's a skilled pilot.
She's a skilled pilot. 8. So I've got a flat 8, which is a nice start.
Okay. And
Better
Kat's
than my
got
6.
a 13.
Ah, yes, she's the right girl.
10 plus 3.
Oh, sweet.
So,
Sweet
as you make your way down, you notice that Kat moves almost supernaturally quietly on the way down this passageway. You hear yourself, obviously your footsteps and the breath in your ears and what have you, but you really can't hear her at all. You make it all the way to the far end, and it is not a very long tunnel, but it's, several tens of meters in length. And as you start to arrive, you are looking into an open chamber. The chamber is a perfectly smooth pyramid in shape.
Oh.
From where you stand, the walls angle in at the same angle as the steps outside, making the entire island appear hollow, basically. And it stretches up to a significant number of meters, like 40 meters above your head, before it comes to a point. The work lights are mounted in a sort of narrow ring in right in the middle of this chamber, and the walls from floor to ceiling are densely packed with intricate carvings. The floor appears to also be covered in intricate carvings of the same basic design, only these are in a spiral pattern. Not knowing the language, it's hard to tell if they spiral in or out, but because they're in a spiral, the very corners of the pyramidal shape are not covered with the markings.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, it is in those corners that as you peer around in the dark, you can see two people in this space, and they are filming the floor, standing on the bit which doesn't have carvings on it, if you see what I mean, in the corners of the room. And they are quite diligently and very slowly filming with what appears to be video from the way they're moving their cameras slowly. They are diligently filming anything they can get access to from these corners as comfortably as they can. Okay?
Yes.
They are both focusing on this and they are talking. Not heavily, but soon after you get there, one of them says, hang on a second, let's see, because I have things they might say and I need to roll for which one they say.
It's very exciting.
Okay.
Nice weather
So,
today.
one of them immediately says, I don't like this place. It's creepy. The other one says, you don't like any place that doesn't serve beer. I says, it's true. What did they do with the woman? She's on the other side, outside that way. And he actually waves a hand in the direction of the other passageway. You know, with everybody else, everybody who didn't draw the short straw and have to be in here doing this. And there's a bit of a pause, and then the other guy says, what do you think this is? I says, I'll tell you what, one day I'll probably get paid to care. Until then, it's stuff I've been told to film. Okay. I mean, why didn't he just come here and look at it himself? There's a sort of long pause. It's like, this is kind of like an officer you're talking about. You're suggesting an officer is going to stand in a cold space like this when he can send a grunt to do it. Oh, right. Yeah. Good point. And then they start chatting randomly about just stuff, you know. What did you do last weekend? Did you manage to close the deal with that woman you were chatting up at the bar? You know, that kind of thing.
Ugh. What distance away are they from us?
The base of the room is about 40 meters across side to side, so around about 20 meters away from you. Well, the near one is. The other one's on an angle, so closer to 25.
And they seem to be focusing on what they're doing and from what we can tell, working by the light, I suppose.
Yes.
And how shadowy is it in the shadowy areas?
The work lights are deliberately angled, so they're throwing illumination onto the floor, which is what they're filming at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether or not they've already filmed the walls, you can't tell. But right now they're focusing on the floor. That means that above them, it's really very gloomy.
Yeah.
You know, the upper space above them. If you were in the beams from these work lights, which are sort of facing in their direction, those ones been turned that way, then you'd be pretty easily picked out. But if you were the other side of the work lights, if you cut the other way, not so much.
Would work lights die with an EMP?
Yes, probably. Yes, they would require an electronic ballast. So yes.
But the range could potentially affect things from outside the room as well, I would imagine, would it? I'm trying to think my EMP range.
It depends on the range of your EMP, but potentially.
Yes. I've got 2 different EMPs. I need to check a book. That's very boring for streaming. I do apologise. I need to check some range. Is that okay? Talk amongst yourselves. Can we flick back to the helicopter or something? I don't know. Agnar can do something. I don't know. While I check the book.
We can indeed.
Cool. I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah. So back on the shuttle, Cags is chatting away happily with Zoe. Not a care in the world. He just doesn't seem to get stressed about things. And he's saying, so when we do go in, let me get this straight. The Imperial Navy's going to come straight after us, right? And the idea is when we arrive, we pick up the crew and then take off really fast in this shuttle pursued by the Imperial Navy. And Zoe says, pretty much. I mean, we don't know what we're doing when we get there, but it could be that. And he says, you know, they have fast ships too, right? And Zoe says, sure. But they don't have you flying them. And Cag says, yeah, that's also in their favor. And he turns around towards where Agnar is sitting. And he says, oh, Fuzzball. You're the sort of muscle of this operation, right?
Hey, IMT, by the way, and welcome to our 100th Traveller episode on Twitch.
Welcome, IMT.
We're the
Lovely
only
to have you join us.
We're the only Kent-based traveller stream that's had 100 episodes on Twitch.
Indeed. Agnar looks back at him and says, no, I am not the muscle.
So, okay, I thought you were the military man.
Well, I am the military man, but I am not the I'm not the brawn of the operation, if you will.
Oh, good.
His head.
Okay, fair enough. Who's the brawn?
Agnar nudges Soraya in the side and says, "Hey, Soraya, what are you reading?"
I'm reading.
Not one of those shopping catalogs, is it?
No. I'm reading how to be more beefy.
That's perfect timing.
There's this picture of this guy looks just like you in here, but it's not. It's younger. It can't be you. Is this you in your younger days?
Yeah, with muscles.
It's the old printing. I heard you were replaced in later printings by Rack, I believe.
And I don't blame them either, to be fair. Anyway, speaking of which, Cags over there wants to know who's the brawn of our operation.
Probably Zoe.
Yeah, probably Zoe.
He looks over at her, sort of like, she's okay. All right, good to know.
She's also the brains, if it helps.
So, if that's the case, what is it that the rest of you bring?
Unless, of course, you think you're beefier, in which case you can be the new brawn.
Oh, I go to a great deal of trouble to avoid getting into fights that I can't win.
We bring cheesy balls. Soraya reaches into her pockets and brings out a few that she's rescued from the bougie balloon. Don't we, Agnar? We bring the snacks and the
Yes,
song.
the snacks, and the shotgun, which he won't pump because he doesn't need to, apparently. But if it was set in modern day times, he would.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Gag sort of grins and he says, when we do go, we're going to have to go fast. Lower is probably better. I mean, it won't stop them catching us and it won't stop them seeing us. But the lower we go, the more likely it'll be that we're doing what we said we were doing, rescuing people. But they're going to work out pretty quick that we're not, when we don't slow down.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. We've got one shot, right? We're just gonna go for it. It's all right.
All we need is one shot. I believe in you, Agnar. Always have done. Whatever people
Me?
say. Yeah,
I'm not flying.
I believe in your
Leadership.
You have the leadership. You have the know-how. You have the military know-how. You'll guide us through with your own special way. You'll say the right things at the right time. You always do.
Let me tell you, I've given these Navy people a run around once or twice before. Don't worry, it'll be fine. He says to Cags.
Okay, all right, that's fine. It's just probably something you should know. I mean, it's not a big something. It's like a little something. It's a mini something. It's tiny little something. If we do get caught by the authorities, it's entirely possible they may have questions for me about things, other things that aren't this. Well, things that are partly this. They might want to know where the shuttle came from, and it's possible they want to know where the last shuttle came from, and why it's now floating space junk. And there are a few other things. I got into a bit of an argument with somebody a little while ago, and well, I think he's probably going to press charges.
Let me stop you there, Cags. Let me use my excellent leadership skills to put your mind at ease. If we get caught by the Navy, the Imperium Navy, on a restricted island, which nobody is supposed to set foot on, I don't think they're going to care too much about your last two ships or the altercation that you may or may not have gotten into in a bar. So don't worry, it'll be fine.
Sure. Yeah, okay. That'll be good then. Technically not a bar. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the plus
side, I was guessing. Sorry.
As I say, on the plus side, if we all get out of here, you come and live with us for a while. And Agnar's got a fine selection of whiskies, as he said. The two of you can spend the next week in Jump getting horribly drunk together.
Yep, the Baltic Star Bar has got the finest selection of whiskies that you could ever possibly wish to have. All top shelf behind the bar. You and me will work our way through them. He nudges Soraya in the side.
Yes, I would leave the two of you to it.
It's a good idea. I fly better when I've had a few whiskies in me.
Oh, we don't need a pilot. We're okay for that.
Okay then, sorted.
Think of it as like a holiday.
Definitely.
Like a holiday.
It's just like a holiday. Holidays are good. Yeah, excellent. All right. I'm just listening in and waiting for the call. You understand? If there's anything else I need to be doing, tell me. And Zoe chuckles and says, "I don't think there's anything else you're capable of doing."
See, she's
And
the
he
brains.
and and he gives her a grin and he says, "You're really starting to grow on me." She says, "No." He turns back forward to check his instruments. Wow. Okay, so can we cut back to the island of Herrenhau?
Yes.
Yeah, go on then, Ben, I suppose.
Yeah, let's continue. That's a nice little aside. Thank you for buying me some time.
That's quite all right.
If I use the TL9, not my TL11, which
Mhm.
might cause all sorts, it might just turn the whole planet off, quite frankly. The TL9 EMP has a range of 20, and it's a 1d6 for the number of minutes it affects.
Okay. All right.
Which suddenly makes things incredibly interesting.
So,
Because
what does the TL11 do?
it doesn't say in the book. It leaves a gap. So I have no idea. It's going to do more than that, though.
I know what it'll be. It'll be about the range of tech levels affected by it, won't it?
Yeah, it does 2 levels below or above. No, 2 levels
Yeah.
below it fries a certain
And
level.
2 levels above it are
can't.
protected from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So essentially, that'll be why there's a tech level 11 version.
Yeah, it's just a better version of that.
That will fry anything up to TL9 and be unable to hurt anything of TL13.
Let's face it, these lights are not a high tech. They're not going to be come on.
Well, you say that.
They're just lights. No one's going to like. Tech level 9 is far beyond Earth's technology right now.
They've got clappers installed.
Yeah, but we can do that right now. That's a tech level 7 tech. Don't try.
Okay.
Socks is here just for an argument about what tech level some lights are in a room.
Yes.
Classic Baltic Star. Classic Baltic Star discussion. Hey, beard. Oh, beard for Ben. Sorry, this will buy me some minutes. Let me just find the beard. There it is. Okay, that's good. That's covered that up nicely.
Okay. Yes, I would. I mean, if you'd like to estimate what the tech levels of the lights are, you can. Under the circumstances, any technical skill you've got will probably do it. So, electronics skill, if you want to do a check against that, for example.
Yes, I'll use an electronic skill. If that's okay. I have electronic skills. I can't philosophize about how good the lights are.
I don't know. You're in a cave and there's lights. Is it casting shadows on the wall?
Are you unable to move and have to stare forward only at the back of the cave?
Yeah. It seems to me like the perfect moment, Luke.
If the lights flick off in a cave and there's no one there to see them, do they?
Does that weird buzzing sound stop?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Let me roll.
Yeah. So you can have, I'm guessing, intellect or education. You can either work it out or use prior knowledge.
Yeah, I use my prior knowledge. She's got a lot of knowledge about lights. We've not covered this before. She's a bit of a savant when it comes to lights. Don't ask me why though. That's a story for another night.
Well, to be fair, she is a skilled photographer.
That's true.
Photography skill.
She needs it all. So that will work probably. That's 11 in total. 7 plus 4 is 11.
Okay. The lights are definitely not particularly high tech level. They are relatively sophisticated lights for what they are. They are light, weatherproof, quite powerful for their size. They work off very high performance portable batteries with ballast capabilities and electronic controls. So they are quite good lights, but they're still only going to work out at somewhere around Tech 8.
Which is perfect. So it won't totally fry them. It will just knock them out for a while. This is the best possible result. They're better lights than we have now, Socks. These are better than Earth lights. Yeah, for sure. Better than the best B&Q.
Yeah.
If Fortnum and Mason did lights, we'd be approaching that.
Actually, I think they're about to be Kara controlled, in fact.
Very much so. However, there is a slight moment because I probably need to make about 5 meters worth of movement in the dark before I set them off, just to make sure all my bases are covered.
Okay.
Because you said
Yeah.
20 and 25, and I want to make sure that I can pop as many lights around as possible. Because also, when they go off, we need to get across to them incredibly quickly. So probably, actually, I need to get as close as I possibly can before dropping the EMP.
All right.
'Cause
So
I've got to cover
the
that
options you
ground.
would have, essentially, because the lights are essentially clustered in the middle of the room,
Mm,
you could slide your EMP along the floor
yes, that would get me
towards
close.
them. And if
Yes.
you judged that well enough, when it went off, it would probably encompass all of them.
Yep, just got to be within 20 meters of them, so that's not too bad.
That's fairly reasonable. I mean, realistically, you'd only have, I mean, it's a relatively
I have
easy
to roll them like 5 meters just to get it within it.
Yeah, you need sort of anywhere between 5 and 25 meters is your range we're talking about. Actually,
I,
5 and 35 probably.
I like to think most people could manage that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't need to be a highly skilled seam bowler in order to achieve this. Or, of course, you can absolutely dash out of the tunnel and drop it yourself. In which it's a question really of whether you want to rely on your dexterity or your stealth.
I feel like I need to give it to Kat to do. If that's the case, she's the only one with skills.
All right.
Is Kat's on the other side though, isn't she? She's on the other side of the.
Yes, but you're both hidden in the dark tunnel from their point of view.
Yeah. Okay. Kara's going to catch Kat's eyes, if that's okay. Not literally catch them. I don't know. What a terrible thought.
Yeah.
She's going to catch her sight, if that's okay.
Yes, okay. I did understand what you meant, yes.
Good. I've got to be careful. I don't want you to pull shenanigans.
Shenanigans, would I?
I need to turn Yana off. She's been on far too long. Kara carefully reaches into her pocket and pulls out an EMP and quietly sort of waves it towards Kat and points at it and gives a thumbs up.
Okay. Kat steps across the passage. It's far too wide for you to just hand it across. She steps across the passage to kind of behind you at an angle, and holds out her hand, and she looks at it. She clearly isn't practiced with what to do to turn it on or make it work.
Keeping the. I assume that if we're heads together, a whisper into an ear is probably going to be okay at this range.
Should be. Yeah.
Oh, don't say should be. Say yes, it will
be. Definitely should be.
Definitely.
Sure. Possibly, maybe.
Possibly, maybe. If you say, okay, this EMP, we'll blow these lights for a minute or two. And then you and I are going to get across to one guy each. And we're going to get as close as we can. And we're going to unalive them. So I'm just trying to make sure. I'm just trying to make sure our stream's allowed on YouTube right now. I'm using the correct language.
We will dismantle them. Sure.
I don't want a warning against us. We're already demonetized in YouTube because people keep playing the Benga bus.
Yeah.
I think it's because you keep putting your music in. They're like, oh no, it's copyrighted. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, muffin's been on too long now as well.
All right. Okay. So you activate the EMP device.
Yeah, Kara will take it back. She trusts herself. She just wanted to show what she was doing. Kat doesn't know how to use it. At least Kara's used them many times before.
Sure. So she basically does the dry run, shows her what to do.
Yeah, says right.
Okay.
This is what we're gonna do, Kat. Okay. That guy that's 25 meters away, that's your guy. That guy that's 20 meters away is my guy. And I back you because you're far more athletic and agile than me. You're younger than me. We're each going to walk across in the dark. And the second I think we're going to be able to make it in that moment of surprise, I'm going to drop the EMP. It's going to go dark. So you're going to be relying on your starlight drops. Cover that ground as close as you can get. If you can get your gun to his head, even better. Get as close as you can. And we're going to put them through with our laser pistols, okay? If you can get a knife onto him, even better. But we need to get this done as quickly and quietly as possible.
All right.
All right. So, stay in the shadows. Get as close as you can. And the second that I think either of them's getting suspicious of movement or anything, I'm letting it off.
All right. So, sequence of events is you're going to creep out of the tunnel and try and stay the far side of the lights from them.
Yep, we're going to try and get as close as we can without them seeing. The second I think they might be getting suspicious, that's when I'm going to toss it towards the middle of the room. The closer we get is the less distance we need to travel to get up to them, if that makes sense.
Okay. I mean, essentially, that's going to be, if you want to stay the other side of the lights until it's go time, that's still going to be 20 meters because the lights are in the middle of the room.
Ah, of course, yeah. Then we're just going to have to get close to that to give us that last run. So it makes no difference then in that regard. We're going to be 20 meters, whatever.
You might as well just put the lights out and sprint.
Go. Okay. New plan.
New plan.
Now I've had a better look at the layout of the room. It's going to be 20 meters, whatever. Right.
Okay.
Let's go. Come on.
Do you know what would be a really good philosophy role to make a long running in joke aside is for when they're getting suspicious?
What is suspicion?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how would that work in practice?
Oh, you'd sit there and think about it for a while.
I mean, how would you sell that? I mean, truthfully, what would you do? How would you say? Oh, you know what we'll do? We'll put the lights out, charge towards them in the dark, holding lethal weapons, and then we'll talk to them.
We'll try and philosophize them around to making themselves alive.
Everyone talks with a gun to their head. Probably. That's it. Yeah, we'll give it a go. Come on, let's try. We'll try and unalive them.
Moving on with the actual game.
Yeah, they tried to unalive Kara anyway. They deserve it.
That's true.
All right.
Even if they're retiring tomorrow.
Okay.
No, only one of them.
Oh, okay. The other one's the younger partner.
Keep working for his young family.
Oh, don't. Now you reminded me of what was it, the Austin Powers one where they wait, it dies and they call up his wife. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Too late. I'm invested now. Let's go.
I've said it. It's happening.
It's happening. Right. I'm rubbing off an EMP as we speak. Go on, Ben.
Okay. Right. So, given that the lights are in a sort of ring around the middle, I'm going to make the leap of faith to say that you can get within exactly 18 meters before you deploy your EMP.
Sounds good to me.
Assuming your stealth is up to it. This is for a very specific reason, which means that you will be able to cover the distance from that point to them to get into melee range in one full turn.
Yes. Good work. Good maths.
During which they will obviously get their own opportunity to do things.
How dare they?
So, depending on what they do, your plan could come wildly unraveled. But let's see. Okay.
It's what it is.
All right.
We don't need a pilot.
So, first things first.
Or a philosopher.
Oh,
Or philosophy.
that's the most important role. Who's gonna
Ship's
vlog?
philosopher.
Who's gonna sit at the front of ship with a elbow on a knee and a hand on a fist staring out into the night,
It's true.
into
Absolutely.
the eternal night,
It has
Yeah, I
to
was
be
going
the
to
one.
say.
staring into the eyes of God.
Yeah. Okay. So, first things first. You creep out into position. I'm going to need both of you to make a stealth roll.
Oh, goodness sake! So if anyone's got
And that's with
1,000
dex.
credits, I could do the boon right about now. The hero, yeah, I'll get her. In fact, I'll make that the cover for this episode. Let me write it down. Hang on.
That's
Cara,
good.
Cara, I think that's good. If I can work that in Hero Forge, they should sponsor us like they do for other people. I've used it far longer than anyone else, and they're sponsoring everyone else, and they don't care about us. I applied for it. Swine. We love them
Your
guys.
hero for it to work is peak.
I'm saying
It
it's-
is
my humble
exceptional.
opinion.
I'm
Hero
saying it's
Forge
the
work,
best.
yeah.
I'm the first one that used it for in-game graphics. In fact, before they even made it available to use for in-game graphics, I used to have to crop around the edge of every single image.
Just stole it.
Yes. Oh, dear.
No, it's good.
Oh dear.
good
dear.
work.
Anyway, I'm not bitter. Go on.
We can tell. Take it out on these two poor people who are about to retire and
right.
trying to support their
So-
young family.
Cat stealth roll is a 14.
Oh, she's a good girl, isn't she? Flat 9. That was a good roll as well. I'm not as good as her though, but
Oh,
That's a 9.
keep in mind up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, you manage to deploy the EMP. Cat and you glance at each other, almost like in a sprinter's crouch waiting to go. You pop the EMP down. You press the button. And there's just a couple of seconds of delay before the EMP goes off. And then you can actually hear the sort of as the lights all flick out immediately. And immediately you can see the guys react to it. But they don't immediately react like it's a threat.
Mm.
They react like it's a failure, as you might well.
Yeah.
So they both look up but stare at the lights at the where they used to be. And you get to run, both of you. You can cover those 18 meters, and let's see what they're going to do while you're doing that.
there's at least 5 times in that little bit of talking, Ben. I thought you were going to say, and that's where we're going to take a break.
Oh,
the anticipation.
Oh god, I hate rolls like this. They're quite important.
Okay.
I'm glad.
All right. So one of them raises up the camera that he's been holding and points it out to look at the lights, and starts fiddling with the controls. He can set this camera apparently to check with IR. So he's going to use it to see if he can see what went wrong with the lights.
Good for him. We're not coming by the lights, right?
And he seems to get it up and running. You see a little red glow appear at the front of his camera as the IR. You can see that because you can see multispectrum. So a little sort of soft red glow on the front of his camera pops up, but he doesn't seem to react. The other guy snaps down a set of night vision goggles. So I need both of you to roll a stealth again, this time for your sprint.
Who's got the goggles? And the one that Cat's going towards, or the one that Cara's going towards?
The one that Cat's running towards.
Okay. Do we get any? Oh no, because he's light. Do we get any? Do I? If it's Cara's one, do I get a boom because I'm going to the guy that's not looking in the direction? Can I take one?
No, I won't give you a boon. What I'll do is make the check easier.
Okay, that's good. That's
with
helpful.
both of them disoriented. I think it's reasonable to make the check easier.
Okay.
They're reasonably alert guys, but under the circumstances, I think your threshold's probably going to be 6, not
No,
8.
I hit an 8 anyway, so that's okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's all right. That's good. It was going to be an 11, and then it hit against the side of the thing and dropped back, and I was very upset. I was like, "This is a brilliant bit of stealthing."
You sprint up. You see this guy. He's holding up his camera and he's sort of pivoting it around, and you're sort of running this slight angle to get around the side of him, and he's not really paying that much attention to what's coming. He doesn't hear you, seemingly. You are, as you sprint in a dead run, pulling out your blade and just hoping that your soft footfalls on the hard surface won't give away your approach. But seemingly, you get away with it. Seemingly, he isn't focusing on you in particular. He's not reaching for a weapon. When you get there, you will have a surprise attack on him.
Yes, let's bust him up.
The other guy snapped his goggles down, which is a minor action for him. They came on instantly. He blinked and was a little bit startled to see a young woman charging at him. He immediately draws a handgun. And as she charges in, we'll take our break.
And the thing is, of course, when we're talking young woman, it could be either, because Cara will very strongly believe that she's still a young woman. So whatever the math says.
Yeah. Well,
Sure.
She is. How old?
She is
How old
34.
is she?
It's 34. She's
Yeah.
young.
Yeah.
She's
Really young.
Oh, John, you've missed some excitement. I know, but you missed Cara set off an EMP in a weird obsidian indoor pyramid. Set off an EMP to flicker all these lights off, and we've charged at 2 goons, and one's just spotted one of us charging at him and raised his gun. It's very exciting. So come back after break for some much excitement, I'm saying.
And have we toasted ever since the beginning?
Yes, I think so.
So it's
Is this
the
the
100th
100th?
toast.
Yeah, I
100th
think we've
toast.
toasted every single episode of Traveller, yeah.
So it's the 100th toast to Greyhound.
Ah, wonderful. Well, I'm looking forward to that. I feel honoured to be the one doing it, and we should be back in 5 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere. This is exciting. I'm enjoying this episode, so please hang around for some toast and some exciting action, which is very rare for us. For those that watch regularly or semi-regularly, will know that action never happens. So it's about the 6th episode with action in 100 episodes.
It's about right, yeah.
We're part of the
With
6%
actual
today.
combat.
Yes. So come back for more combat. And right, hang on, let me find the break. See, I've picked it up now. I've got to find the advert. So I think that's the break. Is that right? Hang on, break. Let's click on that. Oh, there's some break. Let's put some music on. There we are. Right, I'm going to turn us off and we'll be back in 5. Good evening, good evening, everyone. It is I, back once again for the Renegade Master, etc. I like to pop in when I'm quite quick to the toilet, to the costume change. That's costume change. That's what the professional youth call it. Not streaming. I'm quick with the costume change, and so I like to chat. I know, right? I like a good reference. And you immediately pictured it. I could see Socks as the Oracle in the first Matrix. Give you a bit of bad news, and they'll be like a cookie? That's very Socks. That's very Socks. John, you still good for 2 weeks' time for the start of the next Tony and Rudy adventure? I'm very much looking forward to it. One of my highlights of any month, it must be said. But yeah, I'm back just to hang out, really. I'm sure you'd all rather hear music, but tough. We played that song a lot. That's been our theme song for 100 episodes. 100 episodes of that theme song. And so I like to chat a bit now. Don't know what to chat about, really. I'm just here to annoy you, to stop you from being chill. I had a Rocky bar. I don't know if anyone knows in the UK is listening. I have a Rocky bar, but the problem is it's been in the. We have a tub, right? So I've got kids, so we have a tub which has the sweet snacks in. Your little wagon wheels and your Kit Kats and a mini Twix if you're lucky, something like that. This Rocky bar's been in there, but it's obviously been in there for ages, so it's got that slightly musty taste. The musty taste of a chocolate bar that's been in a month too long. So I didn't enjoy it very much, which is very disappointing. I was looking forward to it, but no. I'll go back to my wine. Thank you, though, for joining us this evening. We really do appreciate all of you. And I'll say this because the other two aren't here, but it means a lot to the three of us, actually. When we started our ethos when we started was always, hey, we're streaming, we've been streaming. We've been role-playing anyway, right, for a while. We started up and we're doing OG Traveller, and then Ben was like, hey, we're coming to an end of this chapter. Would you like to jump to New Traveller, Mongoose Traveller, and roll up some new characters? And we're like, yeah, that's cool, let's do that. So we did that, and we sort of played it together for a bit. That happened when COVID was happening, so we did the first. We used to meet every Friday night for 6 hours or something, right? Just to, and most of the time we just spent drinking and chatting. But then we did that. Then we met a few times when COVID lifted, and then we're like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Let's just stream. Why not? If one person joins and listens, let's do it. We meet up anyway in person when we can, but we used to streaming online, so we're like, hey, let's do that. And you guys have sort of come along, and some weeks we have a few, some weeks we have some more, and we're just happy that you guys come along, and I hope we bring you a bit of joy of a Friday evening, and I hope that our style is okay. It's going to be our style. We're not, isn't it right, Ben? We can't be. It's John the affiliate. Oh no, John is the affiliate now. He's part of it. He's one of us. One of us. We can't be who we aren't, can we, Ben? At the end of the day,
No,
we can't.
no, we do our game.
And I watch a lot of good streams, like especially IMT and that, who are brilliant, and Rook and Rasp were brilliant, and loads of others, and they're just really good games. And you're like, you can't be them because you're just going to be a worse version of them. So what you do is you just do it your style, and then you do find natural bedfellows, as it were. So that's why I love watching IMT, and we have some crossover with you guys. And like I say, we're going to do this some joint stuff, which is brilliant. Yes, we need to get that done. And John, so the people that come to play with us and the people we watch, there's definitely a crossover. But you got to be you, and I think that's my tip to any streamer. Ben, would you agree? Just be you. If it brings 3 people, it brings 3 people. But don't chase. Don't play things you don't want to play in the style you don't want to play just to chase numbers, right?
Truthfully, I don't know how to be a streamer in the sense that people, when they say, oh, this is how to be a streamer, I don't really know what to do. So we're just a bunch of friends who have fun.
And it's got to be that at the end of the day, because I think if you fake it, those will be the streams that drop and die very quickly. But what we're going to do? We need to get the right people on stream. We got to play the right game in the right way. It just becomes work more than fun. And I think as long as you follow common decency, that's a good start. And if you look, those of you that ever look at stats, I'm a stats man myself. And if anyone ever looks at tabletop RPGs, like the average viewers per stream and like the top, unless you're one of like those top 2 or 3 Brazilian streams,
Mm.
if you hit more than 20, that's huge. If you hit double figures for a tabletop RPG stream, you're in the top like 5% of there's not you're not going to be Critical Role. You're not going to be like even the top D&Ders make more, like more people, but 20 is big, So just be you, just be you. IMT are just them. They've got a lovely circle of people that dip in and out. John legit, he's always going to be him anyway, and he can't be anyone but him. The most wonderful man you could ever spend time around.
It's just a joy to spend time with John. Yes, always.
So just do you, boo.
And that's actually one of the great things about it. We've got to play some games on stream with the people who created those games. We've got to play with some really lovely people that we'd have never met if we weren't doing this. And they've been really great people to spend a bit of time with and chat with.
Exactly. Well, I'm confusing people because my little break chat is confusing people now. Is this still our break chat? Still break. We keep it until everyone's back. Oh, look, Ewan's back. He's just been super quiet. We're all here.
I've been back for ages. I've just been sitting here listening to you two. It's
reveling in the joy. I'm all about the confusing moves.
And that's us.
You know that.
Because we've been waffling on.
Yeah. And John, you've been a player in one of my games. All my moves are confusing. You know that. Right. Let's sorry, coughing there. You might as well come out of this now. But here we are. Look, are you all happy now? You're stuck with our mugs down the side. Tough.
Yeah. You see, that's what you get. You get us.
John, you and I need a private catch-up before the next Tony Moody, so you can actually understand what's going on. Bless him. It's because you always end up with the finale at 4 a.m. your time. You're doomed to ever know what's going on. Right, let's beard for Ben. There's the Ben beard. Right. Welcome back, everyone, to the second part. We need a toast, and it's a very important toast. It's the 100th toast to Greyhill, the best barman that a man or woman whoever could ever have, who ran a tight ship on the ship itself, and who brought a lot of joy to crewmates and guests alike. It was a man that loved the song. As we know, sometimes people would sing towards him, sometimes he'd sing them to them, sometimes he'd be heard whistling and humming to himself at night while he shaved that granite chin to a smooth. He had to shave 4 times a day to keep. He was so masculine to keep that smoothness on the chin. It's 4 times a day. But this was a song that we had a group of miners that stayed on the ship for a short time for one jump. And as they drank every night, they developed a song for Greyhill. And it's quite touching. I'd like to bring it for us this evening. Ben does have a beard for his 100th toast. That's very important. But this is the song they dedicated to Greyhill. And we all need to click a bit, and there's a little bit of humming in it. So if we could all click while we're listening. So, here we are. That's good. When last orders has come and the front of ship is dark and the fridge is the only lab we'll see. No, I won't go to cabin. No, I won't go to cabin. Just as long as you drink with me. So Greyhill, drink with me. Oh, drink with me. Oh, drink. Oh, Greyhill, drink with me. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all raise a glass for the 100th time to the late, great Greyhill Best.
The late great Greyhill Bast.
To the late great Greyhill Bast.
To Greyhill Socks, to Greyhill.
Yes, indeed. Fantastic. Right. Okay, we return. The where we left it off, the guy had just literally raised his weapon and was about to shoot. So, yes, thank you, Socks. We are, barking mad, obviously. Thank you. Right, he's going to take a shot.
Pew.
-1 +2. Okay. He raises his weapon. It's a Gauss pistol.
Ugh.
When it fires, it has both AP and auto benefits.
Ugh.
He takes his shot at the charging cat
Ugh.
and lands a hit on her using the auto benefit. The damage is 3D.
Oh God!
Don't do it, Ben. Don't do it.
He likes
You'll be
cats.
pleased
This
to know
is-
the first two, I've only got two in my hands. The first two are snake eyes,
Thank goodness for that.
and the next one's a 6. Okay.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. She's good. She's good.
Plus the AP because she's got some cloth armor. 8. Okay. It is a relatively modest hit. It hits her. He lets out a bit of a yell. She lets out a bit of a as she gets hit. The other guy immediately turns his camera to see what the hell's going on over there, which will help you.
Yes.
Right, now I just need to check something here because with his auto option, I think he might get an additional shot.
Another turn.
Yes.
What?
Mm.
God, it's all gone wrong.
Remind me again, Luke. How did Greyhill die? What situation was he dragged into?
A very, very different situation, if I remember
okay,
correctly.
that's fine.
Right.
That's fine.
They're not.
Phew.
They're not
Good.
comparable. Not comparable
Okay.
at all.
So in burst mode, which is what he's using it as, he gets effectively a damage boost to the damage. So that's all that happens.
Okay.
So it's a bigger hit than expected, but it's still not awful. And that's their turn over. Now
Oof.
we need to roll for initiative, please.
Oh, initiative. Goodness.
So you can use
It's all got serious now.
either Dex or intellect for this.
Intellect.
11.
I don't start saying 11. What's wrong with you?
32.
Oh my goodness.
And 9.
Oh. 12.
Ooh.
12, really? Okay, you go first.
10 plus 2.
Followed by Cat and then them.
Oh, that's good. Cat got the 11. That's good. So if Kara's made it there, she's
Yes,
going to draw
she has.
her tech level 11 laser pistol, which is a 3D plus 3, and from point blank range, if possible, would like to fire it at him.
Okay. Take a shot.
That's a 3D plus 3. Oh, but I've got to roll
Yes.
first, haven't I?
You've got to roll 2d6
Yep. Plus my energy.
plus your melee.
Energy.
sorry,
if I'm
your-
firing my
your energy weapon
Yep.
bonus, and you use Dex for this.
Okay. Phew, just about though. That's a 9.
Okay, 9 is a hit. This is a laser pistol. It has
It
no
is.
other traits. So that's 3d6 plus 4, please.
Come on, let's go big. Let's go big. Let's go big. Let's go big. Oh, it's one. Well, one of them's big. Let's see how that goes. $15.
Okay. The shot doesn't appear to do quite as much damage as you would hope, despite the fact it's very central on him and looks like it should be, a really big hit. It's as if his clothing does absorb some of the hit. It is, however, a fairly noticeable hit. You can still move if you'd like to, but that's your only attack for this round.
I need to move around. There's no cover. What I need to do is I need to move around him. It's dark. I need to get him spinning. So even if that makes him use his minor action to rotate, if that makes sense.
Okay.
I need to be.
You want to cut to the outside of him, sort of back into the corner.
Yeah, just so that part of his turn has to be looking for me in the dark, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Perfect.
Okay. So, all right, that's no problem at all. You can basically dive into the corner. I mean, not literally dive, but charge around into the corner, and make it as difficult as you can for him. Yes.
Fantastic.
Okay. Cat. Weapon out.
Come on.
At least her Dex is good.
Yeah, that is true. That's going to help her, isn't it?
That's 8, 11, 11 on the dot.
Oh, she's a good girl.
That's a total of 7 plus 3, 10. Okay. She lands a hit on him with her laser pistol. It is not what you would call an enormous hit, but once again, it hurts the guy. And okay. She doesn't have an EMP. And she doesn't have any obvious way of making light. I was just thinking if she could do something, she could make some light and blind him a bit. But no, she can't make an attack. She's going to try to do the same thing you did and just run off into the corner and hope that it makes it harder for him.
Yep.
Okay. They then get a turn.
Even if it takes off their +1 aiming bonus, it's something in it at the end of the day.
Exactly. The first one is going to indeed come for you and will turn around. He's got to reacquire you in the dark. And in fact, because he's rather disoriented and he's got to use this camera, he is going to I'm going to make him roll a recon check to see if he can actually acquire you or if he misses you in the chaos.
Dramatic.
And that's a failure. He turns around on the spot and manages to fail to reacquire you. He spins too quickly or in the wrong direction, and he's looking around and he doesn't find you. That was a really awful recon check roll for him. It was a 5 total, including his relevant bonuses. So the other guy is going to turn, and he's not hampered in the same way. He's got night vision goggles on. He was therefore able to see which direction Cat went, and he is going to stretch the range. He's going to start running towards the exit with his move. Not the exit you came in, the other one.
Exit, yeah.
And once he gets there, he's going to take a shot at Cat with his Gauss pistol. That's a bit better. That's a 7. Okay, so total of +1, +2. Sorry, 6, 10. +1 is 11. Okay, he lands a hit on her, and this one again. It seems to hit her fairly solidly, but this time she's looking properly hurt.
Okay.
She is, however, let me just check this because it does make a difference what she can do next. Right, so if okay, no, she's all right for the moment.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So she's going to take a shot, and she is indeed going to aim for her +1. No, it's not her turn. It's your turn.
It's my turn. Seeing this all unfold, Kara's going to play the odds, and there's something you can do when someone's got an EMP, and Kara's got it. She's going to throw a stun grenade at him to try and flare up the night vision goggles. I've looked on the thing; it creates
Yeah.
light and layering a threat.
It's a flashbang. Yeah, it is. So where are you throwing the stun grenade?
As close to him as possible, I guess. As close to his feet as I can possibly get.
All right. Okay. Can you roll a grenade attack? That's a dex roll, please.
Yeah.
With yes, it'll be ranged weapon, won't it? Very simply.
Yeah, let me just check what the range is. Let me see how good I've got to be before I get too cocky. Hang on. Oh god. See, she's gone to a defensive mode again, like she did for Sammy that time. Okay, the range is good, but let's see how. I don't want to hurt us too much. Okay. Should be okay, I guess. That's a 9, flat 9.
Okay.
Hang on, let me say. What was it? You said range, didn't you? So it's that. Yeah, flat 9.
Okay. All right.
Can't get
So
anything better than
with
that.
a flat 9, what's the blast range of the stun grenade? Because it is. Oh no, it's 9 meters. It's blast 9. So in essence, if you land it on him, which you do more or less, it's blast 9.
Cool.
Okay. Can you roll 3D damage for it, please?
That's good. 2 good and 1 bad. So that is a 12.
Okay. All right. The stun grenade goes off, and it immediately, causes him to like flinch away from it. He reacts poorly to it. It obviously injures him. But he isn't down. He is, however, going to suffer a bane on anything he does that requires vision for the next round. He is also stunned.
Fantastic.
Okay, so next up is Cat. Cat's going to take a shot at him with the +1 to aim and hope for the best. Oh, that's a bit better. 10 plus.
Oh, yeah.
3 is 13, plus 0 is 13. Okay, so that's +5 over and above.
Oof.
And that's an 11, is a 14, plus 5 is 19. Plus 19 is exactly 20. Okay.
That's That's a good number.
This time, she rolls very well. She takes careful aim. She squeezes off a shot, and the shot seems to go clean through his head. His knees instantly go slack, and his limbs just quiver a little bit as he drops to his knees and then falls over, and there is no more movement from him. Okay. Which means we've got one guy left. He is going to swing around and have another recon check. He's panicked and chaosed, and his camera vision hasn't been helped much by a bright flash in the corner of his eye.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Oh, that's a bit better. He spotted someone immediately, and it's going to be Cat. He turns around. He sees Cat.
Oh, Cat.
That's a 6 + 2 is an 8. Okay. 6, 7. No bonuses for that. He didn't get to aim. 8. A total of 10. Okay.
Oh, that's okay.
Cat takes the hit, a total of 10 points on the side of her body, and looks genuinely surprised that it doesn't seem to have done her much harm. A little bit, but not much. And it's your turn.
Time to have a go at this guy again. Let's have another shot at this guy, please.
You aiming?
Yeah, I am actually. You know, I'm still relatively close to him. I'm going to take an aim.
Then you can take +1 on the attack, and it's your weapon attack plus dex.
7 + 2 then is 9.
9. Okay. That's a hit +1, so 3d6 + 4, please.
Is a 15.
15.
Yep.
Okay. The guy sort of falls backwards and lands in a heap on the ground. He's not literally dead, but he's done.
Yeah. Kara will rush to. Are we out of combat?
You are out of combat.
Kara rushes towards Cat. Cat, you're right. You're right.
Cat is hurt, properly hurt, but she is not unconscious. She's not incapable of functioning.
Do we need to get Agnar in, Cat? It's now the time.
She sort of shakes her head and spits out a little bit of blood. It's like, chicks dig scars. Be fine.
Cool. Right. Let's get our boffins in to take some photos, do what they need to do. We're pushing in them. We can't wait here. Did you
We've
heard?
got to
Didn't you?
cover the other route.
You heard Rose. I think they've got Rose back there. But honestly, if there's a lot of people in there, we're calling them in. Okay. One scar, yes. A myriad of scars, no.
We so we get the allies in for the room.
Yep.
And then we head down the passage.
See what's there.
See what's going on out there.
And if we need backup, we call for backup and we set the clock.
Good stuff. Okay. All right. So you call in your allies from outside, and they come wandering down the passageway, looking a bit curious and nervous and everything. Those lights you put out are fried, so they're going to have to use their own light sources to make things happen. And the sort of basics of it are that as soon as they walk in, they quite quickly take in the view of the one guy who's breathing very heavily and isn't long for this world, and the one guy who is very much gone from this world. And at your urging, they start the process of filming everything. At a certain point, Kat says, "Take their cameras. They filmed a lot."
Oh,
Um,
you're a smart girl.
and Freya picks up the cameras. It's like,
Girl.
good, and sticks them in her bag.
Clever girl.
Well, they weren't here when the filming was going on.
Mm.
Um, okay, so they start doing that. Now, here's the question: how long do you want to give them before you start moving down the passageway? Or do you want to start moving down the passageway immediately and assessing the situation?
Now, carving photos are important for us. It's a big thing. And we need what we can get. And also, we need to make sure we're giving good stuff to our lovely
To
reporter.
Verima Saffron, yeah.
Yeah. So I need to give them a couple of minutes to get what they can. And Kara's going to head over to the other entrance to sort of keep an eye down there to make sure there's nothing coming our way, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then give them a couple of minutes. But she's edgy. She's like, if she was able to bite her nails at this point, not in gloves and all that, that's exactly what she'd be doing. She's her heart's still going. She's nervous. She's stressed. Every second is feeling like a minute.
All
She's
right.
fighting against every instinct to just call in Agnar right now. But she knows that when she does, it's end games. But she's sort of worried about Kat. She's worried about her squad. She's worried about injury.
Yep.
People on her squad getting hurt. And it's her responsibility and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. The two experts seem to get to their work very quickly. They are moving smoothly. They seem to just intuitively know exactly what to do. Can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
It's a 5.
Okay. It's around about 5 minutes if you can bite your fingers for that long.
Yeah.
Before Sammy comes over, taps you on the shoulder, and says, "We've got everything."
Oh, good girl, good girl. Okay, listen. If you're happy, two of you get back outside. Okay, because I need you to be there waving when the cavalry comes. Okay.
You want the cavalry coming that side rather than this side, because it might be a good.
Yeah.
I don't
Sammy,
know.
you're a
It
smart.
depends on how you want to do it.
You're a smart girl, Sammy. I just don't want you in harm. I don't want Freya in harm's way. You got a gun. I tell you what. Give Freya a reason to stay in here or to go back out to the other side. You okay to come with me and Kat?
Of course.
Okay. Let's keep Freya behind us then.
All right.
Let's head on through.
She turns to Freya and says, "Just in case we've missed something, shoot everything again. You never know. I'll call you when our lift arrives." And Freya says, "Okay." And Sammy nods, and the three of you start to make your way down the passageway. Can you roll a stealth for me, please?
Oh no. Oh. That's stealth plus intellect, isn't it, if I remember correctly?
Yes. No, Dex.
Dex. Oh god, well I'm risky then, because it's just a 7 with a 0-0.
Okay. Kat is stumbling a little as well.
I'm not surprised.
But Sammy manages to keep everything fairly calm, but you're creeping fairly slowly down the passageway. And as you get towards the other end, you start to hear that there's quite loud chatting at the other end. A few different voices. As you reach the end of the passageway, you're still very much shrouded in the dark at this point. You're still some meters back. But through the end of the passageway, you can see that on that sort of open area where the where the steps cut away on each side. On that part of the thing, down at the far end of it, there are two guys sitting one each side, sitting on the sort of sides of those low steps, chatting amiably. And there's a third person with his back to you, sitting on the edge, sort of with his feet on the steps down towards the ocean. And next to him is a very recognizable Rose. She's got different clothing on than she had when you last saw her, but she doesn't appear to be hurt.
Oh. What's her body language? I know it's away and it's her back. Does she appear to be tied up or handcuffed in any way? From what we can tell.
You know what? Roll a recon check for me with intellect.
Oh dear, oh dear. That's a 4 + 2. It's Rose.
You can tell it's Rose. She hasn't had a haircut.
Oh, good. I like her current style. It suits her. And this is on the outside, right? This is like the opposite way we came in.
Yes.
Yes. The guy whose back is to us, is there anything about him I recognise? Is he in the gear?
They are all wearing the identical Merc gear you've seen before, yes.
This is Rose. This is the time. This is the time. This is the time. Okay. This is it. We need to get Rosen off. We've got, by my estimate, it's about 5 minutes you said to come in. We've probably got a few minutes after that before the Navy. So let's say at 10 minutes for a whole of everything. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling lonely. Kara's going to put in the call to Agnar.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey, baby. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just, Soraya's just let me this book she was reading earlier. It's really interesting.
Is that the
Do you want to hear about it?
Is that the one with the handsome Varga that she's stuck your head on top of?
No, that's her diary. That's her diary. Listen, I'll tell you all about it. Ben, have you got a timer?
You'll be telling me all about it in about 11 minutes when we're jetting off from here, because we need you. Follow my device and just follow where we're going to go. We've got eyes on Rose. We've got a few guys down. Cat's injured. Me, Cat, and Sammy are closing in on someone, but 3 guys. But to be honest, this is where numbers start playing against us a bit. Okay. We've got photos. We've got evidence. Rose is in sight. We just need to get her and get off. Okay. And leave the Navy. The Navy can catch Festival like air. Let's just get her and get off. And we need you. Okay.
Roger that. And he'll end the call.
Mm-hmm.
And right, we'll go. Everybody, Cags, do you know how to track a device and get us to that location?
Cags, for all of his sort of jovial, relatively relaxed calm, the moment you say go, his hands flick to the controls in a fraction of a second. You can already feel the craft accelerating. And he's saying, what am I tracking? Which way am I coming?
And Agnar will head up, and I guess he would know of a way to give Cags the relevant information for Kara's phone.
Cags cheerfully says, okay, I'm going to loop around to the north side of the island in order to come in low over that side. We are 339 seconds out.
This is a long shot, but do you know how to block Imperial Navy tracking signals?
He looks at you with a big grin and he says, "I do not."
Well, that's okay. I'll hum it. You join in for the chorus. Let's go. And he'll turn back around to take his seat. Give a nod to Soraya.
Who rolls her eyes? It must be said.
Yes, he's humming the Ride of the Valkyries under his breath as he accelerating. And you are very supersonic almost immediately. Zoe hauls herself over next to the boarding ramp door and yells out to Cags, "When you hit the brakes, let me know how slow, when we're at the speed I can open this." And Cags sort of says something along the lines of, "Yep, sure. You're looking for a speed where you don't get swept out and thrown into the sea in like 11 pieces, right?" And so he says, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm after." He says, "Not a problem. Not a problem. So don't open it until I tell you." And you can actually see, as you're looking out of the sort of sides of this shuttle, the speed you are going and the height above the waves means that there is a substantial sort of rooster tail being thrown up all around the craft. It is an impressive display as you accelerate in. And Cags calls out, 244. It's about when he's calling out 200 when you get a call from the Imperial Navy. Unidentified shuttle. You are violating the embargoed zone around the island of Harrenhal. You have been warned. If you do not turn around, we will dispatch craft to intercept.
Agna will just go like this at him. Unless you've got a better plan. And he'll get on his communicator and just send 200 around. It was around 200, right? He'll send 200 over to Kara. Incoming 200.
And then Cags nods and doesn't respond, and he grins across at Soraya and Agnar and Zoe and everyone, and he says 150, 100.
I hope Framus forgives us, Agnar.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Have you got any incoming yet, Cags?
No, but that may be because we don't really have much of what you'd call sensors on this thing.
Right.
We could literally have a battle cruiser 15 feet off our arse and I wouldn't know.
Are there any rear windows?
Yes.
Agnar goes to have a look. No, we're okay, I think.
Okay. Great. There we go. We're sorted.
Definitely no battle cruiser.
I mean, to be honest, it's probably beneath a battle cruiser a bit, this, but who knows? And he sings out 30 seconds. Now, 30 seconds is 6 rounds of combat turns. So the question is to Luke, when does Kara want to pull the trigger, or does she want to wait until the shuttle arrives before doing anything? She's going to use that as a distraction kind of thing.
That is the question, because there's I'm going to talk through my thought process, because that's a good thing to do on stream, isn't it? There is either use the shuttle as a distraction, which would definitely work as one thing, or the other thing is to draw the distraction and be the distraction ultimately, or start something and catch them in two minds, like the old, you do one thing, then the cavalry comes over the ridge and it can catch them in two ways. Now the question is, in 6 rounds, you're opening yourself up with one injured party. to potentially probably at least 4 rounds of fire. And you're
Yeah.
hoping that you're going to get lucky that many times. So in which case she's probably going to wait until, if I can have such choice, 2 combat rounds before, if that's possible, which would be just like literally 10 seconds before it comes rolling in.
It will. Okay. In that case, we will count down to 2. So effectively, on the shuttle, you hear Cags call out 25, 20, 15, 10 seconds. The shuttle has slammed on the brakes. And as he yells out 10 seconds, he yells, Zoe, door. And she pushes open the hatch and it drops down into its sort of loading ramp. You are actually over part of the island at this point. Having come in at sort of supersonic speeds, you're now moving swiftly enough that there's a hearty breeze inside, but no longer damaging or dangerous. And as the door opens, that sort of slight popping sensation, because obviously the pressure down there is higher than the pressure inside the shuttle. It sort of rushes in, and then almost immediately that sense of it almost being sucked out again by the airflow running past the open door. Zoe crouches down in the doorway with her weapon cradled on her lap and sort of peering out through the door to see it come in. And we are 2 combat rounds away from the shuttle actually arriving. So, Luke.
I like to think that as they were coming in those 10 seconds, Carol got on her device and just said to everyone, if you get eyes on Fess, photos. If you get a chance, preferably kill him. And then she ducks down on her knee and takes a shot at how much should I back myself? That's the question. The guy closest to Rose. I've got to back myself.
Okay, that's the furthest guy from you.
I've got range on my laser pistol, don't I? 30 meters.
Oh yeah, no problem hitting it.
Yeah.
It's going to. Are you taking aim?
Yes, please.
Are you going to have been taking aim for the entire combat round beforehand?
She'll have been stressing it out when she knows that that's the time. That's exact. She'd have been waiting for that moment to sort of sense that the ship coming counter, and she's been aiming that whole time. Yeah.
+4 -1 is a total of +3 to your shot, plus your dex, plus your beam weapon.
Brilliant. That's good. That's +4 altogether then. What dice is looking good? That dice is looking bad. Let's try this too. +4, which is probably good because that's a 7. So that's 11.
Total of 11. 3d6 plus 7, please.
Oh, yes. Oh, we'll see how that goes. That is 5, 5, and 2. So that is 12. So it's 19.
A total of 19. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The shot is off. It's pretty much bang on target. Hits him squarely in the back. It's a big hit. Not enough to do for him immediately, but it's a big hit. He sort of crumples forward a little bit before catching himself and lets out a bit of a yell of pain. But even as he's doing this, Kat and Sammy are going to take shots in the same second, in the same way.
Of course, we get a little bonus go. Love it.
Sammy, that's a 4 plus 3 is a total of 7. -1 is a 6. Sammy misses with her shot. A clean miss.
Oh, sorry.
Cat 7 plus 3 is 10. -1 is 9. +1 is 10. Okay. Cat hits. That's 10, 13 plus 5 is 18. Kat has not gone for the same one as you. She's gone for the one on her left, effectively, and lands an 18-point hit on him. He is also not down, but hurt, badly hurt.
Yeah.
So that's the end of your combat round. And now, can we roll for initiative, please?
Yes, I enjoyed our freebie. All our rounds should be little freebie initiative rounds. I don't like these actual ones.
I don't think there are many that we've set up that haven't been, to be fair.
No, exactly.
I'm sure there are a few. The one in Uma's rooms caught us by surprise, I believe.
But normally we try to get that one by surprise round if we can. That's just a 6 plus 2 is 8.
Okay.
Yeah, the Uma's room one. Let's add that to our favourite moments.
We are also going to need to roll for the people in the shuttle, but that can be next time, okay? Because you've got one more round. Is there anything you're going to do to prepare for the attack as you're in the shuttle?
Well, Soraya's going to get out of her co-pilot seat and bundle up behind the other two with a rifle out. A nice rifle that she's got.
Sharp will also tool up and get ready.
Yeah, Agnol, he'll draw his shotgun and he'll wait by the door. Ideally, he wants to make a bit of a dramatic leap down just before we, a little bit higher than you'd like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big, strong Vargo. There's no reason he shouldn't.
Did you hear about the papyrus?
He's a Varga.
What's his dex like? Remind me.
His dex is okay,
Very
actually.
good.
He's got
There you
2 plus 2, but
he should be fine. He'll be fine.
But it feels like the moment. It feels like the right moment.
Okay. So everybody's crowding up by the door. What we'll do then is when it comes time to deploy, we'll roll initiatives for everybody, and we will put the order in which you can choose to deploy from the door in the initiative order, if that makes any sense at all.
Yeah.
Right. So our initiative for those on the island is Kat, Kara.
Oh wow, mate.
The Mercs, and then Sammy. Okay?
Yep.
We'll filter in everyone else as the time comes. So, Kat gets a shot. And despite the fact you've already had your free turn, they don't get a chance to do anything until she gets her go. So, she is going to take an aim and take a shot at the same guy she went for last time. Come on, 5, 6, 7, 8. -1 is 7, +1 is 8. It's a marginal hit, but it's a hit. 9, 10. Okay. With that hit, the guy she was aiming at, it was a much lesser hit than the first one, but is apparently enough to make him keel over. And as he was struggling to sort of get around the corner and onto the steps, he doesn't make it and he slumps and falls into a heap on the ground. He's still breathing, but he's not moving.
Yeah.
Okay. Kara.
The same for that middle guy again, then, please, with an aim.
Okay, that's +1 and -1 because of the range, so it's a level shot.
With my +1, which is good actually, because that was a 7, but it's a flat 8, so there's just +3d to +3.
Okay, then 3d +3.
Oh, that's not too bad though. I think it's a very average. It's an 11.
Okay. Yeah. Um, Pretty much the same thing happens. The guy is in the process of trying to sort of struggle to his feet and decide what to do, and you hit him again in the back. It doesn't seem like it's an enormous hit, but it's enough to make him slump sideways and fall in a big heap. Rose stares across at him and is like, "What?" Um, and she turns around to see what's happening behind her. And it's now the Merc's turn. Um,
Complaining.
so uh, there is a Merc on the right hand side. He's seen this happen. He throws himself over the steps that he was sitting on,
Mhm.
and he is now completely obscured to everybody in the tunnel. He is then going to poke himself back round the corner just enough to take a shot. Just enough. So yeah, on that basis, he will take a shot. He's going to take an aim at third up in the order is Sammy.
Oh, Sammy.
He's going to take a shot at Sammy. That's an 8 plus 1 is 9. Minus 1 is 8. It's a level throw. The luck is not with him. The shot is easily absorbed by Sammy's cloth armor. And though she looks a bit startled, she is unhurt. In fact, that may be the first completely unhurt we've had in the entire action so far.
Yeah, that's
One where the armor is completely dealt with it.
the luck
So
of Sammy.
yeah, she's lucky as Sammy. Okay. There is no other action that you can see from any Mercs at all in this turn. Yeah, none. So that is their turn as far as you are concerned. The next turn will yeah, the very next turn will effectively be with the shuttle arriving. Okay.
Nice.
And with that done, Rose gets to go. You know what? She is going to literally use her entire turn to jump up and just run into the tunnel and try and get into cover. She's going to do that. Yep. Okay. Which leaves Sammy with a shot. The guy is hiding behind the corner. That gives him +8 to his cover. That's 4, 10, 12, 1. Okay. No, the shot, it's on target, but it just gets to chip away. No visible damage even, but you can see where it hits on the sort of obsidian-like stone that he was hiding behind.
Yeah.
Okay. We are now at the point where everybody on the shuttle needs to roll their initiative, please. It's your choice of intellect or dex.
Okay.
As a bonus to a straight PDT.
So someone count the time. It's the first my first dice roll tonight.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
I've been waiting for Agnes. That's what I've been looking forward to tonight.
Oh, that's good as well.
Oh, look at him setting up.
It's an 11 plus 2 for me.
Oh, that really is good.
Ace King.
Watch it go downhill.
Yeah, that's actually basically between Cat and Kara. Okay, Soraya, I need yours as well.
7 + 1 is 8.
8. Okay. You go after the Mercs and before Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Sharp. Is just ahead of Soraya. I'm going to roll for Cags, even though he's probably just going to be flying the craft.
I hope so.
Um,
Just jump out and leave it go.
I wouldn't put it past him, though, to be fair.
Does
Okay,
have a trail of destroyed ships in his past.
we are at the top of the order. So, as the shuttle comes around the corner and everybody's lining up, you can see there are, in fact, 2 more Mercs. They were further down the slope and completely invisible. If you were inside the tunnel, you couldn't see, over the top of that top. However, they have noticed the random falling dead people dropping on them, and they are making their way up as fast as they can. So as you come in, you can actually see these 2 figures running up to engage. You can't do anything about it yet. It's not your turn. But as the shuttle comes in, they are going to notice that happen, and it'll be a relevant point when that takes place. They are not at the top, however. So Cat's shot, because she gets to go first, is going to be at the guy who's hiding around the corner. Well, yeah, it's a hit, theoretically, but without any bonuses. Yeah, there's no way. It's another slug into the stonework. From that side, it's just not a thing. Okay. Agnar,
Yes.
you are next up on the initiative order. You are literally riding in on your shuttle, holding on with one hand, standing on the platform. And as it sweeps in, you can see the steps leading up to this sort of flat entranceway, with the steps continuing each side of it up towards the top of the pyramid, up to the top of the island. There is a guy lying right on the bottom left corner from your side of that cutaway that leads to the passageway, and he's almost completely covered from anyone inside the building. But as far as you're concerned, he's just lying down on the flat out in the open. Meanwhile, there are 2 more who are hauling themselves up the lower steps and getting up to the point where they will be able to peer over the lip, and they will be able to engage. So,
In
what are
between
you doing?
us and the entrance.
Essentially, yes. All 3 of them are on the steps, on the terraces leading up. 2 are below the doorway entrance, which, because of the way it's cut into the side of the pyramid, there's a sort of flat area in front of it. But 2 of them are approaching that flat area where Rose was sitting. Another one is already at that flat area, but on the side, peering around the corner.
Okay. How high up are we?
Above the water, over 100 meters.
Okay. Wow.
But you are, well, as high as you want to be, depending on how far you leap out. The shuttle is coming in over the island at more or less doorway height. So if you leap out sideways, it's more a width than a drop.
Okay.
So you could drop out. I mean, you could literally pick as you come in from that side. The first person you're going to pass is the one on that corner. If you wait just another second, you'll pass the two just a little below the lip, and you can basically land either immediately below the one on the corner, or with a really good dex check, you could even leap up and try and land on him, or you can drop down onto either of the other 2, or take a shot, of course.
Yes, indeed. He'll take a couple of steps back, and he'll run and leap out of the shuttle and aim for the two coming up the steps. Obviously, with
Okay.
his finger off of the trigger, because he's done this before and it's not a fool. He knows. He knows if you've got your finger on the trigger and you hit the ground, it's likely to go off in a random direction.
Mama Agnar didn't raise no fool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So are you? I mean, the two of them aren't that far apart, but probably 4 or 5 meters. Are you aiming to land on one of them or between them?
Ideally, he'd like to come down with an arm over sort of both, maybe in between them, I guess. But if they're too far apart, he'll aim for one.
He'll aim for one of them. Okay. You hurl yourself out. Can I have an athletics dex plus dex, please?
Oh, yes. Luckily, he has a 0 in athletics dex, which does help. And that's an 8 on the dice. Plus 2 is a 10.
A 10. Okay. You leap out of the craft. I will give Cags the opportunity to provide some aid, and it will. I mean, you've made it. Don't get me wrong, but okay, yeah. He sort of senses what you're going for, and manages to just give you a little bit of a boost at the right moment, and you literally land effectively on top of that guy, crushing him into the steps. And the impact's pretty decent. I'm going to give you effectively a melee attack as part of that because it's arguably an unarmed melee with like a club weapon if you hit him with the rifle as you land, the shotgun as you land.
It's very kind of you.
And it's a free one. This is your movement. So can you roll a melee attack for me and see if you actually land a proper hit on him?
Yes. I don't actually have any. Did you say club? I think it's only got,
it'll be unarmed melee attack with strength or dex, your choice.
You got your claws, haven't
you? He has got natural melee, which I think is his claws.
Oh, that's his claws. Yeah, natural weapons. Yeah. Well, if you want to actually get the claws out,
it doesn't happen often, but I think he probably will. He's only he'll go for one, right? Because he's obviously got to keep hold of
sure,
the shotgun with the other hand. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, we can go with.
Well, I think they're dew claws. I think they're on the wrists, aren't they? So I suspect
that is canon now. So.
I suspect you can actually hold on to the
shotgun and still.
Yeah, I think so.
I've just written claws akimbo. I don't know if that makes sense.
Hopefully.
I like the sound.
I mean, it'd be a really sad picture if he only had them on one hand. What kind of Varga would he be? Shunned by other Varga.
Like those sad old
shunned
elephants with one of their tusks gone from a fight.
Oh, don't. That's
absolutely.
The sad old Agnar with his one dew claw.
It sounds awful to me.
They start falling off when you hit 40.
Oh, no. Don't say that. Varga. Yeah, okay. So you can, yes, you can use your claws as a natural attack. Don't see why not. So that's a. Sorry, what did you roll to hit?
I haven't rolled yet. I was
okay.
Holding off, but I shall roll. That's an 8 on the dice once again, plus 3.
Okay, 11. Then that's 1d6 plus 3, please.
And that's 8 total.
Okay. You land on him with a sort of big snarl and land a hit, which truthfully is not going to injure him greatly, not through his armored suit, but it's a good hit, and you are in place, having landed properly, and you now get your actual attack, of course. So you can go for. You've got vision, obviously, the guy you're literally on top of, or the other guy right next to him.
yes, Agnar will go to make a statement, and he will fire a shot from his shotgun at the guy that he has just landed on.
Okay. Is this an AP shot?
That is the only ammunition that he carries, apparently.
Excellent. Okay.
So, yes, it
So,
is.
yes, it's an AP
range.
shot.
Oh.
All right. So, yes, roll for attack, please. That's with slug thrower and dex.
Yeah. Which is good. That is another 8, but a different 8 plus 3.
Is 11. Okay. So, do you remember what damage your AP does? Is it 4D?
I have 5D written down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
5D. Okay. And do you have the AP number written down as well?
AP 6.
Okay. Can you
Which was an
can you
armor.
roll 5D, please? Add the you ended up with 11, didn't you? So 5D plus 3.
Oh, there's a 1. 21.
Cool.
21 including the plus 3.
66123, yeah.
Okay. So 21 including that plus 3. And you've got AP 3, is that right? No, AP 6, sorry.
AP 6.
Okay. That is enough to actually completely negate their armor. Which now won't surprise you to learn
Oh, God.
means that is an instant kill shot on the second guy. Right. That concludes your move. It is Kara's turn.
Yeah.
Kara's could do one of those moves I do every now and again, which is a bit baffling, but there's reason for it. Which is she's going to take cover, and then she's going to start taking photos. Part of the deal. I'm not going to get a shot in on the guy. I don't back myself. He's hiding. So she's taking photos of the downed bodies. She's taking photos of the surroundings because that's potentially our currency out of here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The actual the wounded, the dead, the dying, the weirdly poised shuttle, the very angry looking Zodani woman who's next in the order about to leap from the shuttle.
Exactly. The guys in their dodgy grey gear, just everything that I can. I'll sort them out later, but I'm just, it's current. It's currency in it.
Protect the guilty later, can't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to take cover and I'm going to take photos that I can. So
All
I'm
right.
guessing cover for my minor and photos for my major. I'm guessing.
Fair enough. That's actually quite a good idea. So, in that case, it's Zoe's turn. She's going to attack the guy on the corner of the platform, the one who's in cover from you guys. I was thinking she might go in and try and stick a blade in for the other guy, but I rolled some dice to see what she'd do, and what she would do is go after the guy who's unencumbered. She's literally going to try and jump out, land on the sort of area almost parallel to him, and then take him on from the side. See if that works. It's a good dex roll, so she makes it out fine. That's going to be all of her movement, though, once she's dropped down and everything. So she's got a shot. It's at almost point blank range. Okay, +1 for the weapon. She's got... Okay. All right, that is a 16 to hit. Right. It's yeah. Okay. +8. +1 plus the AP. Okay, once you take the armor protection out of it, the damage her Gauss carbine does is a total of 33.
Oh God!
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, because it's got a decent AP number, so it took off all of the armor compensation he had, and
Oh,
at that
my
range with the +1
goodness.
to hit and the plus, she rolled 16. You understand? And then effectively, she then rolled well on her attack
Oh
rolls.
my goodness.
I think that's more than the that one shot that Stefan did with the sniper rifle that it took like
Yeah.
6 turns to aim over or something
I have a vague
ridiculous.
feeling that might have been 36, but it's certainly close, isn't it?
Oh, the Lara's band shot, the infamous Lara's band shot. Yes.
Actually, to be fair, given the AP points, it's effectively the same. Yeah, it was effectively a 36, counting the AP as a bonus. So yeah.
Let's face it.
Anyway.
Zoe's been building this up for the last 24 hours.
She's so effectively she shoots the guy through the head and sneers at him a little bit as he's instantly dead, and yells out at the top of her lungs as she glances across to see that the other guy who's there is struggling underneath Agnar. She yells out, "Where's Rose?"
Nice.
Okay, and it's now the Merc's turn. Okay, so there is one Merc.
I almost
He
feel
is
sorry for
currently
him.
underneath an Agnar,
At this point.
and he is going to try and spin around and stick a weapon up. Let's give it a shot.
I'm sorry, did you say up?
Up at Agnar.
Okay.
That's going to be a 7 + 2. That's a 9 to hit. He basically turns around, raises his handgun, and squeezes it off at point blank range. He's got a 9 to hit, so that's a +1 to his damage.
It's a lot of counting.
It's a big number.
That's a total of 15.
Oh, what's your armor?
Well, luckily, Agnar is the more heavily of the armored.
Easy for you to say.
His combat armor has 17, and he has a subdermal armor
Oh
of +1.
God, he's a tank.
My God, he's an absolute tank.
Oh.
Because he mostly tries to heal people like Fest.
Well, the guy got his shot away.
Wowza.
At that range, I mean, yeah, that included his auto 2 bonus. Can't do anything else with it. It's without that, he wouldn't have had a hope in hell of getting through.
That would have knocked Cara off her feet, that shot.
Yeah, that if
My
that shot had
goodness.
hit almost anyone else, it would have damn near been fatal, I think. Yeah. Okay, that's the end of that. We have Sharp. Sharp is going to try and jump down as well. Oh, this is not good dex. So Sharp kind of lands in a heap on her chin on the steps.
Oh, bless her, she's trying.
She's not hurt, you understand, but she's landed in a clatter rather than an actual combat stance. Yeah, I can't really then give her movement or an attack after that, I'm afraid. It was a lousy roll. Okay, Soraya.
Yeah, I'm assuming that from the shuttle there's going to be movement, but I'm assuming even with negatives she can attempt to aim from the doorway at the last remaining. No, because he's under Agnar. Let's not mess around with this. Soraya's going to scan the to see if she can spot any more figures.
Okay.
She's got a little bit of height advantage. She's not going to take a shot at the guy that's under Agnar, because that's
Given your as you say, advanced position, can you have your pick of Streetwise or Recon with intellect and a boon, please?
Oh, yes.
Nicely done.
It is a very advantageous position you're in.
Streetwise, do you say intellects?
Yeah, Streetwise or Recon. Sorry, Survival or Recon
Yep.
with a boon and your choice.
Yep. I'll take a +1. Let's roll it with a boon. And that should be good because I got rid of a 2. So it's an 11.
An 11. Okay. You scan around the hillside, and almost immediately you spot something that nobody else has paid that much attention to. But one of those things that, if you think about it, kind of makes sense. If you were to follow the line of those stairs all the way down to the water,
Mm-hmm.
then down at the water's edge there is a small shuttlecraft, which is literally moored right down by the water. And with that roll, you can see that this is 100 meters away, you understand. There are a couple of people who have emerged from that shuttle, seemingly, and are picking up weapons and peering up the mountainside.
Okay. Do I get them? I doubt I have time at that point to take photos from that.
No, I mean, if you want to, I mean, given that it's observing something, if you want to take a shot, I'll give you one, but it will just be a basic shot.
Yeah. I'm not bothered to take a shot at this point. I'm more trying to get. I'm all about the data. I'm looking for fest. I'm looking to try and pin something on
Okay.
someone. I'd
I
rather
mean,
take a photo than a shot right now. I'd rather roll for a bad photo than a
yeah,
bad
I'll
shot.
tell you what. Yeah, I mean, the observation part, it's not really a full action, is it? So it's just you looking around, and they weren't hidden. So yeah, by all means, take an action for a photo, for a photo take. So a visual arts, visual
Yeah,
media.
it's a -3, but I get a -2, a -1 instead.
Hmm.
So, but it's still bad. But I'm taking a chance. Do you know what I mean? Let's try
Yeah.
and get a blurry photo in. Yeah, it might be all right. It's an 8, but it's -1, so it's a 7.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You get a shot. It's not great art, shall we say, but it's a shot. You never know. Could
Never know.
be enough. Could be helpful. Could be atmospheric.
Who knows?
Um,
Yeah,
you know,
that goes
sometimes
straight to
the
the journalist.
the the fact that something is a bit jerky and a bit troubled and what have you is sometimes part of what makes it interesting. So
We'll say it's
away we
French.
go. That's Soraya. Rose has taken cover. She is unarmed, unarmored, and alarmed. So she isn't going to do anything other than basically hide behind Cat and say things like, "You're right, Cat. You look a bit manic." Um, and and then it's Cag's turn. He is obviously going to bring the shuttle basically to a stop so that people can get back in. He can't do anything really other than stick at the controls. So that's that. Sammy's got no shot at all. You know what? Sammy's going to run out towards the shuttle. Not to get into it, but she's going to throw herself on the ground right at the edge of the lip and do the same kind of thing, peer down and see if there's anyone else. Because when she does do that, she immediately sees Agnar struggling with a mercenary on the steps. She's got a pistol. Why not? She'll take a shot. I mean, the guy's there. Take a shot. She misses with her shot. It's life, right? It happens. So, yeah, Sammy is unable to land her hit, and we are top of the order, and it's Cat's turn. Cat is going to. She's going to do the same thing. Actually, she's going to charge out and peer over the lip, and she's going to yell out as she does so to Zoe. We've got Rose. She's fine. And as she runs to the edge, she's going to drop down and peer over the edge. But when she sees Agnar, knowing where Zoe is as well, she's actually going to ignore that. She's going to take a shot at the guys down at the bottom in the water. It's going to be a hell of a shot with a pistol. No, she can't do that. I mean, she can just about see them through some trees and shrubs and what have you. But if she then takes a shot at that kind of range with a pistol through, it's. I mean, you add up all the minuses. I kid you not. It's even if she could land it, it's +2 for that, plus about minus.
Yeah, that range, huge.
At that range, -5 or something for the hit. Yeah, no chance at all. Okay, so she is going to take a shot at the same guy. Oh, that's even worse. Okay, she misses as well. Agnar, your turn, mate.
Agnar, the conscious-minded medic that he is, takes one look towards the unalived person that he has just made, and then looks back towards the person underneath him and just says, "I would think very carefully about your next move if I were you," and aims the shotgun at his face.
But doesn't shoot. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
He will, however, obviously be prepared. Have we done this before? Have we held an action? Can he be very much aware of any aggression?
Yes,
that this person may show towards him, or
you can absolutely decide if you can basically say you're going to threaten him with the weapon. If he moves in an aggressive way, you're going to pull the trigger, and if he doesn't move in an aggressive way, you're going to not pull the trigger. That's fine.
Scowl menacingly at him.
Fair enough. Okay,
we'll do that.
All right. So what I will do actually is I won't actually resolve the shot he takes if he were to take a shot, because it's not his turn. But what we can do now is resolve the decision he makes. Okay. There's a moment where he sort of goes a little bit slack, like he's thinking, do I really want this to be it? And then you can see suddenly he tenses his shoulders and he's bringing up a weapon. So if you want to shoot him, now is the time.
Yes, Agnar will shoot him. Can we say that in bringing up the weapon through roleplay, I inadvertently used my minor action to aim?
Yes, why not?
I mean, it kind of feels like he was aiming it at him with the intention of, intimidation. But
you can absolutely do that. Yes.
Thank you, Ben.
It's a +1.
I realise I should probably specify.
Plus melee. Sorry, you know what I mean. Slug thrower and dex and 2d6.
Cool. No, that's not good. That's a 2 + 4.
Oh, God.
It's a mighty 6. And somehow.
How'd you miss him there?
the glorious moment has.
Okay, so how much over was that?
It was a 6 in total.
A total of 6.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
not
yeah.
very much over, is it?
Double
Okay.
ones on a dice. plus 4. Hey,
It's remarkable. Yeah. Okay.
this guy.
In the chaos, where you're just sort of holding off, thinking, "I'm not going to do it unless he makes me." When he does, in fact, make you, you pull the trigger, but you jerk the shot away and miss him completely. Okay. Kara.
Kara has no good shot, so she's going to call up Freya.
Okay. You call Freya forward.
Freya, cut. Freya. Shuttle's here. Keep your head down. If it sounds like gunshots, that's because there are. Stay behind me. Stay low. We're getting off here in a matter of minutes, max.
Okay. She immediately responds, "On my way. These carvings are great."
I wish we had longer, but sadly, the Navy don't want it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Are you doing anything else or just calling her up?
If I can do that, I'll try and run across to the. No, let's not make a bigger target. I'm just gonna put a thumbs up to Rose because it's important to feel wanted, I think, and seen and
Agreed.
valued. So she's going to do that to Rose to show that she's wanted and valued and seen.
Okay. Next up is Zoe. Zoe does, of course, have a shot. She's on those steps, so she's looking across at where Agnar is. Having ignored that guy before because, Agnar was dealing with it, she's now going to take a shot.
We need a professional to deal with it. That's what we need.
That's 7 plus.
This guy's just dodged 3 bullets.
From point blank.
I mean, to be fair, even Zoe got an 8. It's a hit, but I mean, not by that much,
Yeah.
That's 8 and 9 is 17. Okay, yeah, it's 17 straight. It's a solid hit. It's enough to make him. He sort of, as Agnar's still sort of trying to wrestle with him and just let off that shot next to him. You see Zoe's shot come in, and it hits him hard. It's enough to punch a big hole in his armor, and he seems to still struggle for a second or two, and then the strength begins to desert him, and he relaxes, can't function anymore, and becomes unconscious.
If I can, Ben, Agnar will just take a look over to Zoe and give her the upward nod.
Oh yeah, yeah, that one.
Respect.
Yeah. Zoe's too focused on Rose to return the favor, but yes.
Yeah.
It's the Merc's turn. The only thing they can realistically do from where they are is take a couple of long shots, so they're both going to open fire. One is opening fire at Zoe. One is opening fire at Agnar. You're both in kind of cover from where you are, but not big cover because you're in a bit of foliage and shrubbery and so on. The first one is a 10. That's 7. 9 plus 2 is 11. Minus. Okay. The first one nicks Zoe. It hits her, and it's a not a serious injury. In fact, barely an injury at all. The armor the armor takes most of it. Her protective clothing takes most of the damage. It's a little bit, but nothing that she'll worry about. The second one is aiming at Agnar. That's 10. -1 is 9. +2 is 11. So it's a hit with a +3. That's 9. It's 17. +3 is 20.
Oh.
So that is two off endurance. I
Yeah,
believe.
2 off endurance. There's no AP function, so he doesn't get to like eliminate any of your armor.
Okay, cool.
AP is a big thing in Traveller.
It is if you're dealing with armored enemies. Yeah, it really is, because it doesn't add to damage, but it can negate the power of your armored suit. Okay, so that's the mercs done. And in fact, having taken their shots, they are going to leap back into their shuttle and prep for takeoff. I think they've decided this is exactly as much as they were paid for and no more. It is Sharp's turn. She picks herself up, yells up at Cags to bring the shuttle in low over the entranceway, and sort of starts directing him in, almost like she's giving him instructions on how to park, because you've got some slightly wounded people and you've got Rose obviously to get out of there. Soraya, your turn.
Soraya's still on the ship, and to be honest, she's got no targets. She's not got much of anything. The best thing she can do if she's on there, if she don't want to take off, is more photos of the shuttle. Try and get something.
Okay.
I don't know how good they are. I don't think there's much. She can jump off. She'll be jumping straight back on again.
Yeah.
She can't see anything else, so I'll roll and see what I can get. At a -1.
Give it a shot.
It's
Visual media.
Same as before. It's a 7, so it's going to just be more average shots.
Yeah.
That's not bad though.
Yeah,
It's something.
you might get a number somewhere on the shuttle, a license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair enough. Can Cara please roll for her photographs as well?
Yeah, of course. In fact, there's something else Cara would like to do if we can jump back into time.
Yeah, of course.
Cara's is, of course, what is it? It's visual media, isn't it? Plus, I'm guessing education with her, isn't it?
Yes, it'll be edu with her, yeah.
Yeah, that's 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
She can take a photo. Cara can take a photo. It's her biggest strength.
Yeah.
And it's come in really handy a lot of times, to be fair.
We're big on evidence.
Yeah, it's true. There are a lot of occasions where it's been useful. Passing pictures around, it turns out, is a good thing to do. Who knew? So, okay. Yes. Next up is Rose, who is going to follow Sharp's instructions and run to the shuttle and jump in. Cags hasn't actually brought it in yet, so she's going to make a dex roll and see if she can leap straight in. Oh, that's no problem.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it was 10 on the dice.
I visualised her missing and just falling hundreds of meters down.
She runs up and, sick and tired of this island and not wanting to be any part of it anymore, she leaps inside. So Soraya's in the shuttle and suddenly sees Rose like flying through the door. It's like, hi.
Rose.
Okay. Cags. Okay. Grounds the boarding ramp on the deck there, so nobody else is going to have to do that if they don't want to. I mean, they can if they'd like.
Oh, that's exciting.
And Sammy, right next to there, is just going to climb on board the shuttle. Which brings us back to Kat, who is going to pick herself up, a little bit sore, shall we say, and make her way on board the shuttle slumping down into a seat and just closing her eyes and trying to concentrate on not being in pain. Agnar.
Agnar knows what's coming next. He suddenly looks around at half the people that have already got on the shuttle and just yells out, "Get to the shuttle!" And he'll head towards the shuttle as well. He'll start holstering his shotgun and pulling out a med pack ready to attend anybody that needs.
Okay. So you're going to basically clamber
Needs
on board
help.
the shuttle.
Yeah.
Okay. Kara.
Up on the plateau. The ones that were dying, are there any that's still alive if she rushes to any of them?
There is the one on the left who was hit by Cat.
Yeah.
Is unconscious and bleeding out, but still alive.
But unconscious. Kara's going to head to him and try and slap him about a bit to see if she can regain his consciousness before we have to leave.
Okay. You know what? Let's try something a bit unorthodox. Let's try a persuade check.
With strength.
Yeah.
With dex, let's say.
Yeah, okay.
That's normally persuade is intellect or social, but let's go. Let's go
straight
with
for
dex.
persuade.
I like it.
Well, that's good.
That's
7.
why we love Traveller.
That's a 7 plus 2 plus 0. Thank you very much for the dex.
That's
is
a 9.
9.
Okay. You managed to get him to wake up just a little bit, and he's very bleary-eyed and he's struggling, but you do manage to get some consciousness into him.
She's going to film on her camera, if that's okay.
Okay. Are you asking him anything, or are you just filming?
Yeah, just film.
Okay.
Soldier. Did Fess send you?
Okay, let's make it an opposed roll. Roll persuade with intellect against. I will go with his deception with intellect. Okay.
No, deception. Well, I know the truth. Oh, that's good though. We'll see. It's an 11 for Kara.
That's good.
Okay. He looks up like, you don't know what you got into. And then he dies.
The worst thing is, I believe Ben as well.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out in 7 years. It's okay.
real life 7 years.
Real life 7 years. Oh, in game 30 years.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, that brings us to Zoe. And essentially, after Zoe, it's the mercs up, so we can break combat. Zoe will leap onto the shuttle, and there are no more mercs to go. And Sharp is already clambering in. The only person technically still outside, I think, is Sammy, but she's going to climb inside as soon as she can.
Cool. Roll on. That's amazing.
Okay.
Sorry. Bit of a
As soon
compliment
as
there.
everyone's on, Agnar would like to just do a quick triage,
Okay.
if possible, and try and assess.
Cat is hurt, properly hurt. And Zoe is very, very slightly grazed. Other than that, the NPCs are pretty much okay. I'll leave it
Luke,
up to you guys to decide how you are describing your injuries.
How you doing, Luke?
Uh,
Cara, you alright?
Kara's got her head down. She's flicking through her photos. From what Sarah said to her, she's immediately putting together a batch of 30 photos that show a few, not the prime carvings, a few carvings photos, a lot of photos of the dead guys, nothing of Zoe leaping off a shuttle in a heroic pose. Getting Soraya's pictures of the blurry shuttle and trying to put together a pack to send to our beloved reporter, I guess.
Okay.
Well, she's going to send them to Soraya because Soraya's the one that's had the conversation. So Zoe's basically, Kara's putting together 30 photos of stuff that won't incriminate us directly.
Yep.
With a bit of everything and put the best we can, put it in a package and sent it to Soraya ready to go.
All right. So you sent the packet, so to speak, to Soraya, not to Verima at this point, not to Saffron.
Soraya's the one with the link to Saffron,
Yeah.
and she's the one that will get in touch with her as we're trying to escape, I guess. So.
Yep. Got it. Yep. Excellent.
So she kind of gives a thumbs up to Agnar as she's busy, dragging and wiping things in on a device. So yeah.
All right.
He knows the motions. He doesn't know what she's doing because he's so old and technology.
It's all tech.
But he knows what's going on.
Of course he does.
He'll nod and he'll approach Cat and say, "Let me look at that and get out a medikit."
All right. With your experience, I can tell you that in game terms, to put it really simply, in game terms, Cat has burnt clean through her endurance and is about halfway down her strength.
Roll well.
He will attempt to administer some first aid. He only has +1 medkits left, but he will use one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a medic check with education +1.
Oh, I should cross off that ammo for the shot I missed. Yep. And you'll have to remind me, is that intellect or education?
Education plus medic +1.
+1
for the medkit.
That is good. It's not a great dice roll though. That's a 5 on the dice, but it does make an 11.
Wow.
Good man. He's so skilled.
Okay.
A 3 in medic and a 2 in education.
Cat is slumped there, and you get in there and start doing some work. It's enough to get her basically stable. She's not looking comfortable, and she is going to be it's going to be a while before she has any endurance at all. But you mostly got her strength back up to tip top. Okay.
He'll pat her on the shoulder and just say, "Sorry, it's not my best work, but gesture around at the shuttle that they're on. Actually, the quite nice shuttle that they're on, but that's not necessarily the first thing he had in mind when Kags is the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll get you rested up, don't worry.
Yeah, she's going to need some medical care to get her endurance back, but her strength is now back to normal. So, okay. All right. Kags is going to.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's not too bad. I'm going to roll for the other shuttle. Okay. Um, Cags reports in as you set out, heading sort of vaguely towards Selville at this point, because he hasn't got any other instructions yet. Um, that the other shuttle is heading in roughly the same direction, but veering further to the north, aiming for somewhere out in the ocean. Um, and you can you can see he's getting a bit nervous, looking around, peering out of the sort of portholes and the windows and things, worrying about whether or not um, there's anything else that's going to suddenly pop up, something maybe with Imperial Navy
Mm.
markings on it, perhaps.
Sarai wants to slide into the chair next to him, I guess, with her device in hand, and pat him on the shoulder.
Okay.
And she
Um,
says, "You see that the big sky above us, Kegs?
I think I can make it out from here.
Aim for that. I'm going to make a call."
Okay. Um, Suddenly, everybody feels that slight lurch as it changes its orientation, and the shuttle starts burning its way up into the upper atmosphere, accelerating all the time. And Cag says, "Let me know if this is making anyone's injury feel uncomfortable. There's nothing I'm prepared to do about it, but it will make me laugh."
Ah, what a guy! Sarai's going to put in the call.
Um, it's a couple of seconds later. You get a pickup. Saffron.
Sarai,
Oh, good.
I got about 30 photos for you from Herrenhell, if you're interested.
Oh, I'm very interested. What's that noise in the background?
Well, there's someone moaning. They're quite hurt. There's someone whistling a terrible song.
Agnar's whistling Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah.
Still,
Someone who's soon going to be terribly hurt. Then. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, all
But
right.
we're kind of on a short timeline. We need to get back to our ship, and we need to get away. So if I ping this over, I'd love for our deal to go through if you've got the ability still.
I'll do what I can. I said I would.
Well, I've got carvings. I've got pictures of mercenaries that are on there. I've got some shots of a shuttle that was down there. I've got some landscape stuff shot by a top quality arts student. It's as good as I can get, and I hope that it's going to do you well, along with all the other stuff we've talked about the last few days. I hope this makes you.
It's going to do me a lot of good. Thank you.
You know when you spoke to us on the seamstress, and you said that even though we didn't expect it, that you could end up like a good friend, and you could do us
Yeah.
good. I think you could have been right all along.
Well, let's see if I can actually pull off my end.
And Sarah says, "It's been a pleasure working with you. I'm sending them now." And she hangs up and presses the send button.
Okay. Um, it's at about that moment that Cags yells out, "We've got company." And there are two fighters escorting you, one each side. They look sleek and fast and dangerous.
That's the response of all our idiots that have no idea what to do.
what do they want?
What do they want? Our blood.
When do they want it? Cags opens up a channel. Imperial Navy fighters, what can we do for you? The thing about, Please redirect your flight to Selville City for impound of your craft for violating the embargoed area. I'm not sure we ever violated anything. Embargoed area. I don't think we're in an embargoed area at the moment. I can't see an embargoed area. And even what an embargoed area would look like. Silly thing to say. No, we'll go up to the space station. You can see us there. And the call comes back, and the pilot immediately says, no, this is the Imperial Navy. You will obey, or we will be forced to open fire. And he's in the middle of having that conversation when suddenly the communication is dropped off, and there's a long pause, and then
Big pause.
the radio comms come back on again. This is Imperial Navy. You no longer need to follow those instructions. Apparently, you're free to proceed about your business.
Oh, Sephra.
And Cags doesn't ask, "Are you sure?" Because you don't ask things like that. He says, "Thank you, Imperial Navy." Hangs up immediately, turns to Soraya, and he says, who is that person? How did they do that?"
She's just a reporter who I've given a lot of information for, but it doesn't matter. We've made a career, and we're not going to be here to see it blossom.
In fact, a few seconds later, Saffron calls you back.
Hello.
They are good pictures.
She's a good artist.
They are such good pictures that I only had to swap the promise not to publish one of them for your escape.
We thank you with all our heart, and we really hope that this sets you up for life.
It won't be for life, but it'll do for this month. And it's been a good month, so I'm not complaining. Anyway, safe journeys wherever you happen to end up going.
And I hope that you don't let go of the important news, and you continue to bring light to the murky corners of Giikur.
Yeah, and murk to the lighter ones. Happy trails.
Cheers,
And
Saffron.
she hangs up. And it's about that point that you break through the atmosphere. Cags turns around to sort of say to everybody, right, we've made it to orbit. But he looks around. Soraya's hanging up her comm. Kara's still going through the photos she took and the ones she didn't send and looking at them and evaluating them. You've got, Sharp sitting there looking a bit like she was hoping she'd be a bit more involved, perhaps, like she was just there for the ride. Zoe is sitting there with an arm around Rose, making sure she's okay. And he looks at everybody, doing their thing, and he sort of seems to think better of shouting anything back to them, and he turns back to Soraya and he says, "So, I hear you've got a nice little ship with a great little bar. What do you think?" Oh,
Just head for the ugly bulbous thing. Spend one night on it, and you'll never want to be anywhere else.
the ugly bulbous thing.
Look, I've heard it's got a scrape in it. Wasn't there when I left it.
Can't imagine how that could have happened. Anyway, next stop, ugly bulbous thing. But it goes by Baltic Star, right?
Soraya looks back at Agnar and smiles. Says, should we go back to the Baltic Star?
I've never heard such a welcoming suggestion in all my years, and that's quite a few.
Okay.
Let's go.
He points the shuttle across the sort of orbital line, just dipping slightly into the atmosphere again. Slight rumble from the atmospheric braking, and then as he pulls up the other side, you see the edges of the space dock, and he nips around the corner and very comfortably manages to bring
Crashes
the
into.
bring the shuttle down to a pause alongside the sort of companionway next to the Baltic Star where she's berthed, and you can see the ship. And he peers at her for a couple of seconds and turns around with a grin, and he says, "I guess I'm now one of the boys from the Baltic Star." And that's where we'll call it for tonight.
Oh, the heart. Oh,
Glorious.
oh, what a fun.
Thank you,
I
both.
love it. Thank you. Oh, and that's only the mid-season.
And that'll be our mid-season. It's our,
Yeah.
our mid-season break.
Oh, we're back on the Baltic Star.
Back on the Baltic Star.
Oh, God.
I mean, presumably we're still going to drop Sharp off somewhere, but hang on.
Oh, she's one of the
So we'll
boys of the
deal with
Baltic
that.
Star now.
We'll deal with that later.
She's been shanghaied into the Baltic Star.
You're actually literally putting her on a space station. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's going to be all right.
She does work in space.
Yes, yeah.
She'll be
point.
okay.
Fair point.
Oh,
I don't think you need to panic.
Oh, I have deep joy right now.
Oh,
Deep joy.
I was a little bit worried about Kat for a while.
I was, man. You had two in a row that were pretty gnarly with her.
Yeah. And all it takes is one more. One more big one.
Traveller's deadly.
It's a good job she ended up with that +8 cloth.
Yeah.
Because without it, she'd have been a goner.
Yes. Definitely took the worst of the first two shots, didn't it?
Yeah.
I had no idea what armor she had. When you rolled like whatever it was, like 15, I was like, oh God, it depends what she's got.
Yeah.
If she's got nothing, we're doomed.
Yeah, I mean, she's not armoured the way Agnar is armoured. He's armoured like a battleship.
Yeah, exactly.
He is. That's true.
Well, he just
Mind
walks
you,
towards...
he stubbed his toe as well.
Yeah.
Took a hit.
Heavily armoured, but can't shoot straight.
At point blank range, give or take.
He's the exact opposite of a glass cannon.
Yeah, whatever that is.
I don't know, a steel nerf?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Definitely works.
Yes, mind you, he did unleash one very powerful shot, which was good.
He did. And
which is a good balance as well.
I felt lifted by the cavalry coming with Agnar, to be honest, and his jump out with his claws and that. It felt stressful until that point. With Kat taking the shots in the pyramid, Kara was a bit panicky as I was, and Sammy came, but I was sort of like, I felt like a lot of pressure on me with these two NPCs.
Yeah.
And Kara can kind of hold her own, but she's not. She's the weakest of the four. So I was like, so when that came over and they all jumped in, when they all jumped in, I was like, that's good. That's good.
Certainly, good, I felt I was able to relax a little bit more when Agnar and Sharp and Zoe and people like that were in the fight.
Yeah.
Because they're just that little bit bigger and uglier and can take care of themselves a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. the
But
tension,
it was
the tension,
amazing tension.
the tension came
But it
before
was
because it
just-
was it was risky.
It
Yeah.
was really good. Really good.
Anyway, it was a good 100th, I think. And it was nice to finish on a mid-season break. It was nice to finish up a world effectively.
Who'd have thought we'd finish a world, we'd hit mid-season,
To the Kelleran.
and we'd have a combat in a 100th episode.
Oh, sweet as man.
I mean, it's bizarre because these are things we never do at all. I mean,
No.
we never finish with the world. We once we get to one, we live there forevermore.
Yes.
We
We
never
never do
have any
combat.
combat.
Although the one thing we do is just make a new friend and add them to the crew. That's
That's
pretty
true.
standard.
Which we have also done. That feels,
We're running out of rooms on the
Somewhat.
Baltic Star.
And we have added a Cags this time. So
Oh, good old Kags. He'll do us for a while. We'll
I
drop
know,
him off
yeah,
at
I
some
like
point, I'm
Kegs.
sure.
he's a
Seems
bit
a good one.
irreverent.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, I like
entirely possible he's not compatible with really polite company. But as long as people are okay with a bit of light-hearted silliness, he's probably okay with you.
Yeah.
He'll be good in the bar. I don't think the engineers will like him very much, but that's okay.
Well, is there anyone the engineers really do like?
Nah, just each other, kind of. And the cat, of course.
Rose's cat. I mean,
Rose's cat they like.
yeah, it took them a while to even warm to Caboodle. So, but if you think they're going to be charmed by a half drunken,
I think Johnny Cress will like him. I think.
Yeah, he probably will. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Definitely.
Yeah.
We're all back.
Yes, and you still need to get the rest of your NPCs off the planet, of course.
Are they not back yet?
No.
Oh god. Well, we'll have to leave them. There's nothing to do for it.
They're goners. Sorry.
We'll float
all
around
they
for a
need to do
bit.
is get a shuttle up. You understand? It's
Actually,
not difficult.
actually, we need our shuttle to come back. It's got our weapons on it.
We do. It's
They
got
need-
all
no,
the
that's already back.
stash on.
Oh, is that back? Oh god. So we just need to get any shuttle back. Okay, we'll be all right.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
to the
okay.
and then to the Kelleran.
And to the
Kelleran. And 1 week of skilling up, which we haven't done for absolutely ages.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long
Mostly
road.
because we were quite preoccupied on the seamstress both ways, from what I remember.
Which means Sarai will finally get a mechanic skill. Excellent.
Wow. She's been saving up that choice for a while.
That's been
She's
since,
been one of the engineers.
since before we
hating
started
everyone.
streaming. I think I started that. For goodness sake.
Oh God,
That's
yes. It's
brutal.
been 2.5 years she's been studying to be an engineer.
We've scored up once in 3 years.
I mean, to be fair, you could probably do it in real life at the similar sort of
probably
pace, couldn't
quicker.
you? Similar.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, first of all, thank you to everybody who joined or watched on VOD, and I think none of us ever believed we'd end up doing 100 streams of anything, let alone 100 streams of one game. So thank you very much for being with us for this. It's been enormous fun. Thank you, guys. It's been a treat.
Thank you, Ben. 100 excellent refereeing.
It really
episodes.
has been.
I almost want, before we jump onto the second half, I almost want to go back and look back on the glory times. I don't know if that's worth a stream.
I think that probably is worth doing. Let's do a recap, catch up, and what have you, and a random chat one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice.
Sounds good to me, man. Let's do that.
Let's do that. So we'll do that. So before we sign off and say thank you very much to everybody who joined us in chat and or who caught up on VOD and celebrated 100 with us, which is, a century. It's worth having. The other thing we should do is talk about tomorrow.
We're offering up our channel again to a couple of guys that we've started offering up the odd Saturday to, haven't we, Ben, when we're not available?
Yeah. A couple of devoted seekers of the truth, it has to be said.
Well, that's what they say. I don't believe anything they talk about. They talk nonsense.
I believe they're devoted. I believe they're seekers. I'm not convinced about the truth part.
They're idiots.
They do come across as being a bit unhinged, and it's possible they may be just wildly too credulous when it comes to things that are presented to them.
But
I wouldn't say they're idiots, Luke. I'd say that I would say personally that they're so higher functioning that they're just caught up in some ridiculous tales, shenanigans, whatever you want to call them.
I've watched some of the VODs of it, and you've been there giving it all that. Don't you give me that, Ewan? You're the one that's been turning up saying that you believe and that you're skeptical and all this. You love
you
it.
know me. I like to egg people.
You love the truth seekers. You've been talking about foraging for truth truffles and all that sort of stuff. God, what's wrong with you, man? Get a sense of yourself. So tomorrow, despite mainly because they pay us a $5 and a bag of chips, we're letting the truth foragers come in again for another Saturday. With the two guys, they come in. They talk about some conspiracy theories and some like mysterious stuff. I don't know, but they do their thing on a Saturday every now and again on our channel. We let them do their thing, and it seems people seem to like it.
And they seem fairly harmless in the grand scheme.
That's it. I think they've put the price of foil up though. I can't get foil in my local supermarket now.
It's a trouble now. Yeah.
There's a real shortage. To be fair.
But so tomorrow night the truth foragers are going to be on, doing their thing. Fair play to them. If you want to watch them talk about some urban legends and that, join them. I think from 11 o'clock tomorrow night. I think they're doing it. So
right. Well, I mean, I'll try and stop in if I'm about. You never know.
Ewan will. He's a sucker for all that stuff.
Oh yeah. If they're on, he always tries to tune in if he can. Yeah. All right. Well, so that's what's happening tomorrow. And we won't be doing our catch-up episode next Friday. That's right, isn't it, Luke? So next Friday we will do a Fighting Fantasy game book in Luke's absence. Okay.
Indeed.
And we'll do a catch-up for Traveller probably the week after, something like that. Okay.
Sure. Sounds good to me.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
It's been glorious. Thank you.
You've been glorious.
It's true.
It's been fun.
Good night, everyone. I'm going to bed or something. Not to get. Well, actually, in our big Baltic Star bed, like the rainbow bed. Yeah. I get the middle tonight. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, good. Good night. No more cheese, though. It leaves terrible crumbs in the bed. Good night, everyone.
You could,
it's a right beta.
You can gravel a drive with it.
Especially when you're in the middle and it all dips down into it's terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll see you all in the Baltic Star bed soon. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
So.